subscribe, like the video, and, if possible, join Patreon. But if you don't have much money, you can support the channel by watching the novels on euroaudiobooks.com. Remember that you can participate in the polls so that your favorite novel gets published for free.
Very powerful. If he teaches us a lesson, then aren't we at a loss? Makes sense. Zoro nodded, feeling that Luffy was right. Gold Roger. Haha. That's a good reason. Edward Newgate. It's really worthless Googling. Polysolino. That's right. I agree with him very much. What's good about fighting? Isn't it nice to clock in and get off work on time? However, the tree wants to be still, but the wind doesn't stop. Things are not developing in the direction Luffy wants. A beam of laser light suddenly shoots out. Songlong. Famous sword Kushui unsheathed. 1 sword style slash. Zoro stepped on. Marine 6 styles shaved and stepped out. His figure appeared in front of him in an instant, covered by Armament Haki's autumn water, blocking the laser beam with a block, and then he slammed it like 1,000 pieces of gold whoosh. The direction of this laser beam was changed immediately. It flew towards the sea and sky in the distance, and disappeared into the sky, 7 warlords of the sea? Zoro frowned, and immediately saw the culprit who sent out the laser beam just now. After solving the crocodile in Alabasta, the Straw Hat Pirates have collectively learned a lot of necessary knowledge, including the letter from 7 warlords of the sea. So now Zoro recognizes Bartholomew Kuma at a glance. No, he is not. At this time, Luffy suddenly spoke. Hearing this, Nami said in surprise, "Isn't he Bartholomew Kuma from Shichibukai?" "No, he's a robot." Luffy shook his head and then explained, "My observation Haki can't sense the existence of any breathing in him. When he moves, he hears the sound of mechanical parts. Robot." Hearing this, Frankie widened his eyes and carefully stared at the pacifist in front of him, a little surprised, because the robot in front of me doesn't look like any machine at all from its appearance. This technology is definitely better than his technology. At this moment, the pacifist raised his hand again, and the golden laser beams condensed again. One-shot style, big shock. Zoro didn't show any politeness, and directly slashed over with a knife. A powerful sword energy instantly penetrated from the middle of the pacifist, splitting it in half. Fall to the sides with a bangs is easy. On the smooth as shoe section, there are clusters of electric sparks. It really is a robot. Frankie rushed over excitedly. He squatted on the ground to examine carefully, then grabbed one of the robot's hands and began to eat. Nanny? Khalifa opened his mouth wide in astonishment when he saw this scene. Luffy and Kaku are also stunned, however. The partners of the Straw Hat Pirates are not surprised. Click, click, click. Frankie finished eating a hand, and then started to eat the robot's body, as if the pacifist was not made of steel, but chocolate. Everyone is not in a hurry. Just wait patiently for Frankie to eat the robot. When he ate the last part, Frankie stood up and stretched out his palm to the sky. As the golden energy gathers, a laser beam is sent out from Frankie's hand in an instant, straight into the sky. Wow! Chopper, Usopp and Brook showed envious looks at the same time. Luffy, this is much more efficient than finger pistol. I can also release laser steel beams. This feels awesome. Frankie waved his hand excitedly. In addition, the technical data about the pacifist has also been fused in Frankie's mind. When he goes back, he needs to calm down and study these technological data carefully. Afterwards, the group continued to walk towards the port. However, when they just reached the shore, a shell came by the wind and waves, landed on the ground, and a violent explosion occurred. And before the cannonball exploded, a figure jumped off the cannonball and landed on the ground. "Oh, I'm asking you." It seems that there is no need to inquire. Polysolino was about to ask questions in his usual pretentious tone, but suddenly saw the straw hat on Luffy's head, and his eyes lit up. "Are you the Straw Hat Pirates?" Luffy picked his nostrils. "Oh, what's the matter? Uncle with an ugly face? You really have no manners at all. If it weren't for you guys, would I have to run all the way here? What a bunch of bastards now. Do you want to taste the feeling of being kicked by the speed of light? Or do you take the initiative to catch it?" Polysolino is not happy about being directly turned into an obscene uncle by Luffy. "No. Who are you? Luffy flicked Booger on the ground in front of Kizaru and asked with a confused face. Chapter 139, The Straw Hat Group Fights Kizaru. Please subscribe. Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot to introduce myself. My name is Polyasilino. I'm a Marine, and I'm currently Marine Admiral. Polyasilino had a sorry expression on his face. Hearing Polyasilino's self-introduction, everyone in the Straw Hat Pirates couldn't help twitching their mouths. Why is it such a coincidence? Already arrived at the pier. Why can't you just wait to show up again? If you come a little later, we don't even need to meet. Luffy smiled wryly and spread his hands. Why don't you pretend you didn't see us? Dash. Woo. This is indeed a good suggestion. Hearing Luffy's words, Polyasilino really started to think seriously, but he thought for a while, then shook his head again. No, if he let you go, I can't explain to the Tian Long people, so please go die. Speaking, Polyasilino pointed his finger forward. A golden laser beam strikes immediately. Let me, Frankie shouted quickly, opened his palm, and also released a laser beam whizzing. Two laser beams crossed, and Frankie's laser beam landed on Polyasilino's body, dealing a massive amount of damage. And Kizaru's laser beam skipped Frankie's side and penetrated Kaku's shoulder. I said, "You are so active in attacking. I thought you were going to give him a laser beam." Kaku clutched the blood overflowing from his shoulders. He was stupefied because Zoro took the initiative to attack just now to intercept the laser beam emitted by the pacifist. So Kaku thought Frankie did the same. As a result, if he didn't pay attention, he was shot by the laser beam. Why? Frankie grinned with an embarrassing expression on his face. I'm sorry. Actually, that's what I thought, but I didn't expect that the two beams of light are not easy to match. One nanny? Everyone in the Straw Hat Pirates collectively reveals a black question mark expression pack. So, you're actually a foodie and playful? Isn't this the old laser? How did you make it? Polyasilino was also surprised to see Frankie emitting a laser beam. However, as soon as his words fell, Luffy's big hand stretched out in an instant. The palm is enlarged, wrapping Armament Haki. Luffy directly grabbed Polyasilino's brain love. Gecko Moria. Hey, here we go. A classic scene. Sandy Crocodile. Is Admiral a hit too? Quixote Flamingo. Phew. Can it be? Are the two generals also killed in seconds? Capone Beach. If that's the case, then it's not that we over there are too weak, but that red Luffy is too strong. Seeing the red Luffy use the classic trick again, all the moviegoers stared wide-eyed, watching this scene attentively as Luffy's arm retracted in an instant. His knee pushed forward and out of the doctor. Conqueror's Haki and Armament Haki are all wrapped around the knees, and they went straight to Polyasilino's door with a bang. Nanny! Poor Silino hadn't reacted yet. His head was grabbed by someone suddenly. That is to say, at the same moment, he immediately sensed a terrifying power attacking in an instant. Astigmatism, fireworks. Luffy's knee was about to make his face full of peach blossoms. Polyasilino did not hesitate to use the ability of sparkling fruit. His whole body instantly entered an elemental state, and then it was like a balloon filled with water was suddenly pierced by a needle, snapped. Polyasilino's body exploded into countless light particles, spreading out in all directions. Although Armament Haki can capture elemental entities, it doesn't mean that Armament Haki is invincible when facing Logia ability users. To put it bluntly, when you use Armament Haki, as long as you hit the ability user in the elemental state, you can cause a substantial attack. However, Armament Haki is not a sea stone. He cannot prevent Logia ability users from using their abilities, just like Polyasilino at this time. Luffy wrapped around Armament Haki, which made Luffy able to attack him. But Polyasilino actively disperses into countless light particles. This cannot be stopped by Luffy. The target that was originally controlled in his hand disappeared instantly, so Luffy's blow naturally didn't reach Polyasilino. However, Luffy didn't accept the move, but took advantage of the trend and pushed the knee completely out, in the place where the light gathered in front. There was a sudden dull impact. Polyasilino's body was directly knocked out of the pile of rays of light that started to gather. Polyasilino spat out a mouthful of blood. He looked at Luffy in shock. Nani? You obviously didn't touch me. Luffy nodded. Yes. Even if I don't touch you with this move, it can still hit you from a distance. Hit in the air. Hearing this, Pagliasolino frowned, and he looked at Luffy in confusion. Damn, that couldn't be Conqueror's entanglement. Yes, but you are really strong. You were hit by my Conqueror's entanglement, and you can still stand up. You are indeed the highest combat power in Marine. The enemies you met before, no matter who they are, as long as they are hit by this move, they will all be instantly killed. And the Marine Admiral in front of me can still communicate normally after eating a tyrant's knee. This is what Luffy didn't expect. Words sound really irritating. I am also a Marine Admiral anyway. Don't look down on me. Rao is a madman like Pagliasolino, but he can't help being aroused by Luffy's words mouth suddenly. Pagliasolino raised his hand again, and another laser beam condensed instantly. Don't try to succeed. Zoro instantly drew out the black sword Kushui, and his figure approached Pagliasolino in an instant. He slashed at Pagliasolino Kong. A golden lightsaber instantly appeared in Pagliasolino's hand and struck together with Zoro's knife suddenly. Kizaru was shocked by the powerful force. Although he likes to use the Taikanjian sword, he is not a regular swordsman, and his swordsmanship is half-baked. Facing the sudden attack of Zoro, he originally thought he was just a small character. But the opponent's attack, no matter in terms of the strength, accuracy, or speed of the attack, is definitely a swordsman-level existence. After Zoro struck, the other two knives also joined the battle, cutting spines one after another like the shadow of swords and swords, instantly forcing Pagliasolino to deal with it with all his strength. At this time, Luffy yelled, "Everyone go!" Speaking, he rushed up first, rubber, double-headed Snake King gun. Luffy's hands are instantly elongated and covered with jet black armament haki. His two fists are like two vicious snake heads, attacking Kizaru at a tricky angle. Hey! Sanji stepped on and jumped above Kizaru's head, Blackfoot Meathead. The armament haki covered on his feet is infinitely close to the advanced armament haki. The violent kick hit Pagliasolino's head with a bang. Sniper star. Usopp pulls the slingshot full. An ordinary ball is covered with armament haki. Aiming at Pagliasolino, Frankie uses the laser beam. He just gotta keep lasing Pagliasolino. Although it seems to have no effect, at least it has a bonus in terms of momentum. Buggy looked at it. It seemed that there was no place left, so he simply didn't make a move. Six Wheels blossom, rewinding joints. Robin crossed his arms and started flower fruit D6 arms covering armament haki suddenly appeared on Pagliasolino's body, pulling his hands and legs back. Nani! Suddenly being attacked like this, Pagliasolino was seriously stunned. However, how could the partners of the Straw Hat Pirates let go of such an opportunity? Sanji's feet come crashing down. Poor Solino couldn't dodge, although he managed to avoid his head, but Sanji's kick still landed on his shoulder. Boom! Pagliasolino's right shoulder suddenly sank. At the same time, Luffy's fist landed on his stomach. Boom! The powerful force immediately made Pagliasolino feel his internal organs tumbling. Under this powerful force, his whole body was instantly shot to the rear, leaving a circle of air waves in place. Hey, stupid Luffy, you hit him too far. Otherwise, I'll kill him with one blow. Usopp's sniper star shot out. I don't know where it hit Pagliasolino. I just heard him say, "It seems to be very painful." Rubber, Overlord, Ape Gun. Luffy stepped into the air, moonwalk and shave together, and rushed towards Pagliasolino in an instant. The fist in his right hand was as big as a small hill. 0 for flowers. It is covered with armament haki and Conqueror's haki. Poor Solino suffered a great loss at this time. Not only his shoulders were swollen and painful, but his stomach was extremely cramped. I also got a sniper shot from Usopp on my A, and I'm bleeding. At this time, I saw Luffy rushing over with Conqueror's haki-wrapped fists. Pagliasolino was the one in a panic. Damn. No one told me that these guys are so powerful before coming here. Pagliasolino secretly greets the 8th generation of Sengoku's ancestors. Sengoku. Can't even Pagliasolino take down Red Luffy? Kazan. Not only did it not win, but the skin was not bloomed Sakazuki. I can't see it. Crane. Don't laugh at Kizaru over there. face the red Luffy group over there alone. If you two go, I'm afraid you won't even be able to come back. Sakazuki? Impossible. I'll just kill them. Pagliasolino, who wouldn't talk big. By comparison, even if I'm defeated, at least I can get out. Tell you too, it might be true just like Suru Vice Admiral said. I fell straight. Before coming here, the information Pagliasolino got from Sengoku was clearly an ordinary little pirate group. The captain's highest strength offered a reward of only 200 million times his strength. The rewards for both combatants are 50 million Baileys. Others are even less popular. But now, what Pagliasolino can conclude is that both the opponent's swordsman and the captain can fight him alone. As for the others, they're not weak either. The key is that there are still a few people who have not made a move. It seems that to deal with a marine admiral like him, the other pirates don't need to use all their strength at all. 8-foot mirror. Seeing Luffy approaching, Pagliasolino's right hand is on the top, left hand is on the bottom, palms facing each other. A thick golden light shot out from his hand and bounced several times between several buildings in an instant. Luffy rushed to the front. This punch did not go down. It is predicted that Pagliasolino will dodge this blow. In this case, why waste effort? Luffy turned his head and saw that Pagliasolino had already appeared in midair. In terms of frontal combat power, Pagliasolino may not be the strongest among the three admirals, but in terms of escapability, he ranks second. Absolutely no one can be ranked first. When it's not just bragging, as long as Pagliasolino wants to leave the battlefield. Unless a net has been set up in advance. Otherwise, no one can keep Borisolino, Rosalino. At this time, Usopp shot a sniper star at Kazuru wanna come. Seeing the bullets of the sniper star approaching, Pagliasolino instantly dispersed his figure into countless light particles. Afterwards, he took advantage of the opportunity to gather in the sky. 8-foot Kiongoyu. Among the light and shadow, Pagliasolino condensed into a human form. He crossed his hands, and then opened them suddenly. Countless golden light particles, instantly raining down. See what you guys will do, since the melee is not the opponent. Then rely on the fruit ability to fly the kite directly. Borisolino is also a smart person at this moment. Countless tiny particles suddenly flew up from the ground. Luffy turned to look at Buggy. This is Buggy's awaken ability. Originally, Luffy was going to make a move, but now that Buggy made a move, he did it subconsciously. The countless small particles flew into the air almost instantly, and then formed a large hemispherical bowl. Nami, help me. Buggy yelled good. With Nami's intelligence, he naturally understood what Buggy wanted. She held her finger and activated the ability of Slippery Fruit, Slippery Zero Friction Mirror Surface. Flower Fruit's ability is instantly attached to the big bowl made by Buggy. I saw that the mouth of this big bowl was facing the direction of the 8-foot Kyonga Jade, lazing like a big mouth, swallowing all the laser beams of the 8-foot Kyonga Jade. Swipe, swipe, swipe. All the laser beams slipped in this big bowl, and then shot back in the direction of Pagliasolino along the wall of the bowl. Beg. Flowers beg for evaluation. Beg for a reward. Beg for a monthly ticket. Sean. Chapter 140 Buggy's new trick, piercing Kizaru. Please subscribe. Buggy, what is this? Shanks. The combination of fruit abilities is really interesting. Pagliasolino. Damn it. Even the 8-foot Kiongoyu can be completely reflected. Shiki. Mirror reflects light. There's nothing wrong with that. Jihaha. Nani. Seeing Buggy make a big bowl, Pagliasolino's eyes widened. He put away his supernatural powers and looked at the people below with a confused face. Damn it, I really can't do anything to you. Don't be embarrassing us. Think about yourself first. During the conversation, Buggy activated his ability to break up the giant bowl in the sky again. Countless fragments recombined and condensed into a 40-meter-long machete. Under the control of Buggy, the machete slashed towards Pagliasolino from above. Oh, it's really scary to make such a big guy, however. No matter how big the thing is, it won't have any effect on Logia's elementalization. Look at the 40-meter machete cut down. Pagliasolino is not taboo at all, even if Buggy has armament haki. He can't wrap armament haki on this knife in the air. Sure enough, When the knife cuts across Polysolino's body, it's like skipping across the lake, leaving only a little ripple. You guys, your strength is indeed beyond my expectations. It's just, if you want to deal with this old man, you must first be able to fly. Being beaten up just now. Polysolino feels very uncomfortable now. He immediately wants to regain some ground in terms of words. Buggy, take me up. I'm going to beat him up. Hearing Polysolino's words that 047 deserves a beating, Luffy immediately shouted. And me, let me go up too. Zoro has prepared 3 knives, and then he can fight. And he has experience in cooperating with Buggy, so he's more familiar with air combat. As for Moonwalk, although Moonwalk can provide the ability to stay in the air, it is only used to deal with ordinary people. Sparkling fruit abilities like Polysolino, if someone uses Moonwalk to chase him, he will definitely be walked to death by Polysolino like walking a dog. Don't worry, I'll try to deal with him myself. Buggy's body leaves his feet and flies into the air. Splitting fruit ability, except for the feet, other places can fly shave. Buggy's ankles trampled on the air violently and instantly came to the front of the 40-meter broadsword. He grasped the 40-meter broadsword. The jet black medium surged out of Buggy's hand like ink and climbed crazily along the handle toward the front. Being on the boat at about the same time as Zoro, Buggy's armament haki has been practicing. Although his talent in cultivation is definitely not as good as Zoro, he often practiced for such a long time, and with the guidance of Luffy, his armament haki has also been cultivated to a very advanced level. Buggy machete. The man is in the air. Buggy is waving the 40-meter machete wrapped around armament haki, slashing at Polysolino. Hey, you're really a bit sloppy with this big knife. Polysolino is tossing and turning. Although he is agile, Buggy's blade is big enough and has a large killing radius, which really makes him a little uncomfortable. Laser. Seizing the dodge gap, Polysolino raised his hand and pointed, and a golden laser beam immediately penetrated Buggy. Hey, be careful, Buggy. Don't fail. If you can't, just switch to us. Everyone in the Straw Hat Pirates shouted from below. Huh, I'm fine. Countless sand, grain-sized Buggy body in the air quickly backfilled into the hole in the body that was shot by the laser beam. Just now, Polysolino. Nanny? My laser can't even hurt his body. His is not elemental. Buggy, huh? The me over there is already split to the level of fine sand. I will shatter as soon as you hit me, and I will take the initiative to unload the force, and I will not take any damage at all. Crane, not only for this reason, but also the Buggy over there also has a good armament haki. The moment he was hit just now, those crumbs were also covered with armament haki. Under the double protection, the damage of the laser beam is all weakened. Buggy. So they're armed colors. I didn't even see it clearly. GOLD Roger. Ha. Little Buggy. You have to learn from you over there. Buggy, got it, Captain. What? The expression on Polysolino's face when he saw that Buggy's body didn't suffer any damage. He is a little unbelieving. He clicks forward with both hands at the same time. Laser beams, like machine guns, keep passing through Buggy. In the blink of an eye, Buggy's body becomes riddled with holes, however. After a short while, when the pieces of armament haki covered in the air returned to Buggy's body, an intact Buggy appeared in front of Polysolino again. Wow, Buggy is amazing. Even Marine Admiral can't do anything about him. Chopper clapped his hands excitedly. Whether Buggy can beat Marine Admiral or not, Marine Admiral will definitely not be able to beat Buggy. Usopp also made a positive judgment. Frankie laughed loudly. It seems like both sides can't help each other, Zoro said. If the other party insists on leaving, Buggy really can't catch up. In this situation, let me play a battle song to cheer up Buggy. Brook pulled out his cane sword and put on the scabbard, and the passionate rhythm was ignited. Buggy has returned to his original state, and the corners of his mouth curled up into a wicked smile. Don't leave after the fight. Now it's time for me to attack. The 40-meter sword in the sky suddenly fell apart and turned into countless small blades. And Buggy's own body also disintegrated into many separate small pieces. These small pieces each hold a blade and then endow armament haki. Taste my strength. 100 Buggy. The next moment, the battle scene in the sky turned into hundreds of body fragments with hundreds of blades flying around Polyasilino's body. If you look at it from a distance, it looks a bit like a large group of flies scrambling to bite an egg. Polyasilino frowned. He suddenly realized that he was surrounded by Buggy. If you want to break through at this time, you will definitely not be able to take into account all the Buggy pieces, and all the Buggy pieces are wrapped around Armament Haki's blades, and they all have the ability to break through him. If he escapes, he will definitely be able to escape. But getting injured is absolutely inevitable. Dignified Marine Admiral came here for Naval Headquarters to arrest the murderer who killed the Tianlong people. As a result, the murderer was not caught, but was injured by an ordinary crew member of the opposing pirate group. Wouldn't it be embarrassing to say this? So at this moment, Polyasilino is because of his old face, and he must not run away. Shuang, Amazono Cloud Sword. Sophisticated battlefield experience made Polyasilino summon 2 golden lightsabers without any hesitation, and became a dual-knife swordsman. One whirring, 2 Tai and Kanjian swords danced around Polyasilino's body into an impenetrable circle of swords, lights, and swords. Those little buggies are constantly being chopped up by Polyasilino. Yes, the advantage of little buggy is the large number, but because it is split into small pieces of buggy, the degree of sturdiness must be greatly reduced. Under Polyasilino's non-stop attack, the little buggy is constantly being broken up. In a blink of an eye, the number of remaining little buggies seemed to be insufficient to surround Polyasilino. 100 crack, Buggy return. The buggy stopped drinking, whether it was the broken little buggy or the unbroken little buggy. They all flew back quickly at this time and reassembled into a big buggy. Countless gravel and sand also flew back, turning into a 40-meter machete in Buggy's hands. Don't leave. The winner hasn't been decided yet. Buggy pointed at Polyasilino, then raised a 40-meter machete and slashed violently. Oh, you forgot to use Armament Haki? Then I won't be polite. Seeing that the 40-meter machete that Buggy just assembled this time has not been wrapped around Armament Haki, Polyasilino's Amakanjian sword in both hands repeatedly slashed. It's like chopping vegetables and cutting melons. Chopping the 40-meter long machete piece by piece. Almost half of it was cut off. Buggy cut the remaining half to cover the armed color Haki J. You got fooled. Seeing Polyasilino approaching to a position of more than 20 meters, Buggy suddenly grinned. Hold the handle of the knife with both hands, then stab in the direction of Polyasilino. Is this considered a fool? Don't be kidding. Facing this level of attack, Polyasilino stepped back a few meters in an instant. Although he retreated passively, this space is enough for him to dodge and reverse D. The fact is, just as Polyasilino expected, when Buggy's arm was fully stretched, the 20-meter broken knife still failed to touch his body. It's really scary. If you didn't break the knife in half, I would have been stabbed by you. It's scary what you say, but Polyasilino's tone is full of ridicule. The half-broken knife did not stab him. Can the complete knife stab him? The answer is obviously impossible. If it is a complete knife, Polyasilino is not a fool. How can you put yourself in the attack range where the opponent can hurt him? Looking at Polyasilino's deliberate teasing of him, Buggy was not only not angry, but laughed loudly. Huh, I'll help you. It's not broken now. As soon as Buggy's voice falls, those blade fragments that were originally scattered and floating in the air returned instantly. The 20-meter broken knife instantly turned into a 40-meter machete. As the blade extends along the direction, the first half of the blade naturally passes through Polyasilino's body when combined. As a Logia fruit expert with a keen sense of the battlefield, the moment the 40-meter machete recovered, Polyasilino immediately put his body into Wutai state, thus avoiding the possibility of being penetrated. But even so, he couldn't help but feel a little scared. Buggy's attack method is beyond his expectation. This is the first time I encounter this kind of attack. It is really difficult to react. But at this moment, the jet black medium is like an electric current being transmitted on a conductor, and it rages from the blade quickly. Polyasilino suddenly realized something. Not good, he thought to himself, and quickly dodged to the side. But after all, it's still a step too late. The moment his body was about to leave the blade, Buggy's armament haki was transmitted to the blade in an instant. Puff! A wound appeared below Pagliusolino's left rib. Bright red blood splashed out instantly. Pagliusolino. What? He hurt me? Buggy, I'm dead. I'm so good over there. That move just now is too domineering. I must learn it. Sengoku. That trick just now, whoever encounters it for the first time will hardly avoid getting hurt. Edward Newgate. Goo la la la. I have to say, if the old man met the red nose over there, without knowing the information, he would probably suffer. Joel D. Roger. This move is outrageous. Little Buggy, look at you over there. You can develop such a powerful move. You have to work hard. You must not be compared to the lower level by you over there. Kazan. Especially when dealing with people with Logia abilities, this trick will have a miraculous effect. Even the fastest Pagliusolino is not spared. If it were me, I would probably die too. It's cut. 5.9 Frankie shouted excitedly. It must be the effect brought about by my battle song. Yohoho Brook pulled more vigorously. Zoro narrowed his eyes slightly. Buggy's move. It's very strong. The Buggy move just now is also very strong. One person can surround the opponent. How arrogant, Sanji added. Zero Luffy grinned and said, the one that Nami and Buggy teamed up with just now is not bad either. When faced with such a large-scale killing ability in the future, this move will be specially used to defend one, of course. I'm very capable. Nami pouted her lips, then clenched her fists and said, your fruit abilities are awakened. I have to work hard and strive to awaken as soon as possible. Luffy and Buggy saw the transformation brought about by the fruit ability awakening of Luffy and Buggy, and Nami also yearned for the fruit awakening in his heart. So I have to work hard too. I look forward to my flower fruit awakening soon. I don't know if it will be possible for you to bloom too, Robin said with a smile. What about me? If my munch fruit is awakened, won't everything around me be swallowed? Ha ha, in the sky, damn it. Kizaru modeled his own wounds and was extremely angry, but as an official ape who is used to clocking in and leaving get off work, he can't fight with his life. Now that I'm injured, I can just prove that I did not imitate fish this trip. What a scary group of guys. I'll deal with you guys next time. After saying ruthless words, Pagliusolino immediately turned into a streamer and disappeared into the sky. Chapter 141, Great Philosopher Doflamingo. Please subscribe. Seeing Pagliusolino turning into a streamer, Nami immediately pointed to the sky and shouted, he's going to run away. Let's run away. Anyway, we can't catch up with him. Luffy showed a helpless expression. When Barry Buggy surrounded Pagliusolino before, if everyone went together, there was a chance to keep Pagliusolino, but at that time, Luffy wanted to see how the actual combat ability of Buggy Fruit would be after awakening. May intervene in the Battle of Ba Huang. Besides, in Luffy's opinion, if a person who can become an admiral is forced into a desperate situation, there is a way to reverse the situation. Judging from the current hatred value of both sides, there is no need to risk your life. Sanji looked at Luffy. Admiral ran away. So, shall we run again? When everyone heard it. It seemed to be true. They wanted to escape just now because they knew that Marine Admiral was coming. But now Marine Admiral has run away by himself. Luffy thought for a while and said, let's avoid the limelight first. Come back to watch the live broadcast of Summit War in a week. Although Admiral was beaten away, who knows if Marine will send other admirals? At the critical moment, this place is so close to naval headquarters. What if Grandpa will come next time? How embarrassing so. Luffy made a decisive decision and ordered everyone to dodge first. Afterwards, everyone moved the treasure chest to the 1,000 miles of sunshine and temporarily left the Sabiti archipelago. Here the video on the red frame screen gradually dimmed. The screen disappears. Gion, is it over? Crane. The white frame screen has already progressed to the present, and it stands to reason that there will be no follow-up. So let's prepare for the next battle. Sengoku, Marine soldiers, show your best fighting spirit. This battle, representing justice and evil, is about to start. The movie viewing system has provided us Marine with so many rewards, so we must stand on the side of justice. Justice must prevail. 01. Pagliasolino. It seems that war is about to start. Edward Newgate. Ace, wait there. Daddy is here to save you. Marco. Ace, we will definitely rescue you. Joel D. Roger. With me here, no one can kill Ace today. Monkey D. Luffy. Ace, I'll get you out. Just when the opponents began to raise their momentum, the screen, with white borders, gradually lights up. Sakazuki. Why did it light up again? Kazan. What's going on? Isn't it over yet? Jewelry Polly. Any more? Rox D. Zebek. It's out of the picture. Haha. There's more. Great. There's hope for Lousy's resurrection. Gia, there are still. Rox, this idiot is really lucky, Sengoku. No, this is already up to now. If there is more, what content is playing? Charlotte Linlin. Future picture? Izambaron V. Nashu Langshan. Even the future screen can be played? Summit War has officially kicked off. Whitebeard opened his arms suddenly, and the power of shock fruit was activated. Boom! The seawater on both sides of Marin Fandu burst into the sky as if two monstrous monsters that have been dormant on the seabed for many years. With the momentum of swallowing the sky, they opened their bloody mouths towards the naval headquarters in the middle tsunami. My God, what kind of power is this? It's over. Just when many people thought that naval headquarters was going to be submerged, a voice suddenly jumped into the air from the crowd. Ice Age. Under the sky, between the sea and the sky, a figure becomes the only protagonist in this world. He stretches his arms like a rock, spreading his wings. The biting, cold air surged out from his arm like a rolling river. At first glance, the coldness is so severe, but when the cold air touches the hundreds of meters of waves on both sides, its terrifying power is truly revealed in front of the world. The monstrous waves, nearly 100 meters high, were frozen into mountains in less than a second. Frozen 2 thorny spear when falling. Akiji threw out 2 frozen spears and went straight to the doctor. Hee. Akiji, you kid. Whitebeard grinned at the corner of his mouth and blasted out with a punch. Across a distance of 400 meters, the wave was transmitted to Akiji in an instant. Even the 2 frozen spears were shattered together. Sengoku, what? It's really a war. Seeing the scene on the screen with white borders, Sengoku, who was still suspicious at first, is now completely sure that this is the upcoming Summit War. Charlotte Linlin. Has this war been played before it started? Hey. Could it be that the Whitebeard Pirates and Marine will go through this script again later? Gold Roger. Haha. If there is no viewing system, then the upcoming war should be based on this script. But it is definitely impossible now. Not to mention that Naval Headquarters has more people, including him, Golden Lion, and Kazuki Oden, and many people have the ability to be rewarded by the viewing system. This plays a vital role in the outcome of this war. It can be said that since the appearance of the movie viewing system, the course of this war has completely changed. Dracula Mihawk. Is this supposed to be where Summit War is supposed to go? Shiki. Wait until the fight officially starts. I told Whitebeard not to move. Watch me lift Naval Headquarters to the sky first. Jihahaha. Don Quixote da Flamingo. Fufurfur. Interesting. As expected of the strongest man in the world, he will destroy the entire Naval Headquarters. Gecko Moria. Hey he. If there is no fruit ability of Akiji Admiral, this tsunami is really hard to say. Sengoku. Stupid. Do you think Marine's background is vegetarian? Looking at the picture of the start of the war in the white frame video, many viewers were shocked. In a battle of this level, those big bosses will strike at will, and they are all existences at the level of destroying the world. 01330850 Falu 191393031. Under the Great War, ordinary pirates and marine soldiers are really worthless like ants. As Crescent Harbor is frozen, the whole Whitebeard pirates advance. Marine vice admirals also join the battle, acting as the first line to stop the Whitebeard pirate team leaders. Then, the world's #1 swordsman, Hawkeye, pulled out the black sword Yaya and shot at Whitebeard with a wave of sword energy 800 meters away. Where the sword energy passes, everything is like cloud and mud, split in half instantly, boom. In the end, the sword energy did not touch Whitebeard at all, and was stopped by the captain of the third team of the Whitebeard Pirates, Josie, 8-foot Kianguyu. Almost at the same time, a golden light shone high above the sky, illuminating the entire Marin Fonlu. With all eyes on, Marine Admiral Kazuru hit Whitebeard directly. A shot is his big move. Undead Thistle, accompanied by a scream, Marco, the first captain of the Whitebeard Pirates, makes his debut. Quiet green flames gushed out from him, instantly creating a circular shield. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. The laser beam of the 8-foot Kiangu Jade falls on it, like a mud cow entering the sea, disappearing without a trace. Cavendish. Is this the battle of superpowers? It's been so intense since the beginning, Kid Eustace. It's an exaggeration. It's more dangerous than any battle I've encountered before. Paulusolino, my 8-foot Kianguyu is blocked again. These pirates are really scary. When watching the Red Frame video just now, his 8-foot Kianguyu was completely dispelled by the combined skills of Buggy and Nami. Now, it's even more straightforward when it comes to the White Frame video. Marco alone let all his 8-foot Kianguyu go in vain. Kazan. Is your guy's ULT a show? Sakazuki. What an idiot. Rorinoa Zoro. That is the sword-slashing wave of the world's #1 swordsman, and it was actually blocked by that guy with his body. Watching Josie block Hawkeye's sword-slashing wave, Zoro felt extremely shocked. He has fought against Hawkeye before, so he naturally knows how powerful Hawkeye is. Jaws. Boy, do you have any misunderstandings about me? I'm a person with the ability to shine fruit. When my body becomes a diamond and armament Haki is added, do you know how tough I am? When the war is touched, it instantly becomes a fierce meat grinder. Outside the harbor, the fleet of the Whitebeard Pirates fleet and the fleet of the Marine warship roared, blasting out flames that soared into the sky one after another. In the harbor, the Whitebeard Pirates and Marine are officially fighting together. Swords and bullets have no eyes at all. The moment the two armies come into contact, a large number of pirates and Marine die instantly. Living human lives instantly turned into ruthless statistics at this moment. Outside the harbor, several Marine warships were suddenly covered by something in the shadows. The Marine soldiers looked up subconsciously and immediately saw a huge monster standing next to their warship. Roar. The little demon Ozzy roared loudly. Grab a warship with both hands. It was as easy and simple as holding a household. He lifted this warship high and then slammed it down to another warship below. No. Help! The Marine soldiers on the two warships were extremely frightened amidst the screams. The two warships collided fiercely. Violent explosion. Violent impact. Under this blow, hundreds of lives will be reincarnated in an instant. Under Oz's violence to open the way, the Whitebeard Pirates' large ship group broke through the blockade at the entrance of the harbor, and a large number of pirates jumped off the boat and rushed to the ice in the harbor. King, 7 warlords of the sea, are making moves one after another. Bartholomew Kuma remembers Bear Paw Impact. Doflamingo Fretsaw, Cut Feet. Gecko Moria's Shadow, Horn Gun Penetrates. Just a moment ago, the little Ozzy, who seemed to be invincible, was seriously injured and fell down in an instant, submerged in the sea. Port Gas D. Ace. Ozzy, little Ozzy Jr. Brother Ace, don't be nervous. This thing hasn't happened yet. Port Gas D. Ace. Ozzy, listen to me. Never come to save me. If so many lives are lost trying to save me, I'd rather die. 160, seeing the death of a large number of members of the Whitebeard Pirates on the screen. Ace's heart is bleeding at the same time. More self-blame. If he hadn't been self-willed and didn't listen to Whitebeard, he wouldn't be in this situation now. It will not cause everyone to come to Naval Headquarters now. There will be a tragic battle. Nefertari Cobra. Why is there a war? Isn't the life of those soldiers and pirate crews not life? Neptune. The war is so cruel. The war has just begun. The total number of casualties on both sides has reached at least 1,000. Don Quixote, Doflamingo. How do you old antiques understand? not to mention the weak on the battlefield. No matter where you are, you have no right to choose. Ha 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 ha. Sengoku. Damn it. Our Marine's loss is not small. Edward Newgate. Sengoku. You stop pretending to be sentimental there. This is your own war to start. If you really care about Marines Bing's life, then you hand over Ace to me. We both exit peacefully. How about? Sengoku, you're dreaming. If Marine compromises with the pirates, then where's the justice in this world? Don Quixote Doflamingo. Justice? Fufurfur. Doflamingo was about to say something when he suddenly appeared on the screen. Don Quixote Doflamingo. Huh? Close up for me. Doflamingo uses the ability of String Fruit to control the captain of the 13th Division of the Whitebeard Pirates, Buffalo Atmos, and frantically kills the surrounding pirates. He stepped on the sky's path, as if standing in the air, listening to the Marines below shouting the slogan, "Justice will prevail," to cheer themselves up. Doflamingo suddenly grinned. Pirates are evil. Marine is justice? This concept has been refreshed countless times. Doflamingo opened his hands, overlooking the entire battlefield. He laughed wildly. Children who don't know what peace is and children who don't know what war is, their values are different. Fufurfur. As long as you stand at the top, you can write good and evil. And the battlefield at this time is the process of neutrality. Is justice bound to prevail? Fufurfur. Isn't that inevitable? Because only the winner is justice. Doflamingo's arrogant remarks instantly resounded under the sky of the entire naval headquarters. Chapter 142 Sengoku. Damn it, my plan is fully exposed. Please subscribe. Don Quixote Doflamingo, huh? Sengoku. A whole Doflamingo, what are you talking about? Gold Roger. Aha! Well said, this is so true, Monkey D. Malong. Only the victor is justice. This truth is absolutely correct, Nico Robin. Children who don't know what peace is and children who don't know what war is, of course what they want is different, Sir Crocodile. Can't see. You turkey is actually a philosopher? Don Quixote Doflamingo. Fufurfur, I'm just telling the truth. How many adults don't understand this truth? It's just that some people are deceiving themselves, Roxd. Zebek. I like what you say, kid. You wait for me to be resurrected, and we join hands to make this world surrender under our feet. Don Quixote Doflamingo. Fufurfur. Then you took the opportunity to give me a knife, and then asked Luo to perform an immortal surgery for you, right? Shiki. Jiahahaha. Rox. Don't treat others as fools. Edward Newgate. The clown guy is a genius. He won't be fooled by such a low-level trick. There was a loud noise in the sky, and the prison team made its debut. When the advanced warship fell from the ice to the sea, the criminal brigade composed of Luffy, Guoping, Crocodile, Buggy, Ivankov, and others joined the battlefield. The conflict on the battlefield escalates again. At this time, on the execution platform, Your Excellency Marshal, you are ready. A Marine communication soldier is reporting in Sengoku. The deployment is also in place at the harbor. Sengoku asked in a deep voice without looking sideways. Yes, everything is in place, the signalman replied. Hearing this, Sengoku ordered, cut off the video phone bug immediately. Sengoku. Damn, when seeing this scene, Sengoku's heart suddenly jumped. When he saw the future video played by the movie viewing system before, he didn't realize the problem, however. At this moment, he suddenly realized that the problem was serious. Everything he arranged is about to be exposed to the world, and, most importantly, there are some things that cannot be seen. Edward Newgate. Gula la 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 la. Sengoku, please cut off what is on the video phone. Is there something shameful that you want to cancel it? Seeing what was happening on the screen, Whitebeard understood immediately. Based on his understanding of Sengoku, if there is something I don't want the world to see, it must be an ugly thing. Urich, hey, isn't it? In other words, we can only watch half of the reruns in Sabaody Archipelago. Basil Hawkins, maybe it's just the beginning, Scratchy Manup. Blah 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 blah. Gold. Sengoku is not doing any good. Sengoku, shut up. Roger, this is war. Shiki, war is war. Let's see what happens next, Jiaha. Charlotte Linlin. The Sengoku old dog is starting to panic. Sengoku looked at the correspondent. Let them cut off the video call immediately. What will happen next? The world doesn't need to know. They just need to receive the news of Marine's victory in a few hours enough. Yes, the correspondent immediately began to deliver the order. At this time, the Whitebeard Pirates' large ship group has already rushed into the Crescent Harbor with a large number of captains and cadres. The momentum is huge, and they are about to capture naval headquarters. But when the morale of the pirates was high, a row of tall figures suddenly appeared at the entrance of Crescent Harbor in the smoke of the battlefield. Marine Science Corps Captain Jean Taowan is carrying a big axe in one hand, and the other is on his waist. His face is full of impatience. It's finally time for us to play. I've been waiting for 302 for a long time. He watched the situation on the battlefield and picked up the phone bug. Grandpa, why is it a little different from the plan? Didn't it mean that when we dispatched, the pirates were all surrounded in the harbor? What? It's all gone now. At this time, Sengoku yelled at the intercom bug. Although the fronts on the left and right sides have been broken, they can still attack vertically. According to the original plan, ignore the Whitebeard pirates and solve the encirclement first. Those who slipped through the net. Jean Tamaru saw this and asked Kizaru in the phone bug again. Grandpa, those warships and pirate ships are all close together. Is it okay to destroy the warships? Porcelino's voice came. Try to keep it to a minimum. Receive the confirmed order. Jean Taowan put away the phone bug and shouted, Action! As he gave an order, dozens of pacifist ships opened fire at the same time. Laser beams are pouring towards the battlefield ahead like they don't want money. At this moment, in the eyes of the pacifist, there is no difference between us and the enemy. They seem to be washing the ground, sweeping along the entrance of Crescent Harbor all the way inward. Everywhere you go, order. Sabeti Archipelago, live in front of the big screen, my God. It turned out to be like this. Those pacifist ships are really ruthless killing machines. Whether it's a marine or a pirate, they kill them directly. Isn't it? There is no difference between the pirate ship and the warship at this time, but they are in the way, and they are all destroyed. No wonder Marine Admiral Sengoku wants to cut off the video phone to ask. This simply doesn't take the lives of those Marine soldiers seriously. Hey, those are the so-called abandoned sons. If sacrificing a small number of people can achieve the maximum victory, it is actually understandable. Understood fart. Let you be an abandoned child. Can you still say this? That won't work. Then I will curse the 18th generation of his ancestors. Those who were waiting to watch the Summit War livestream were shocked when they saw Sengoku's plan to put the Marine soldiers' lives at risk. It didn't matter whether Sengoku was right or wrong before, but at least he was dealing with pirates. And now, for the sake of victory, even the lives of Marine soldiers are directly ignored. Horrible. Terrible. Edward Newgate. Is that so? Sengoku, so you prepared such a package for us? In order to wipe us all out, you don't even care about your own lives? Seeing that the pacifists directly and indiscriminately narrowed the battle line towards the interior of the harbor, Whitebeard immediately sneered and mocked Joel D. Roger. It's amazing, my Sengoku. You are worthy of it. You will do whatever it takes to achieve your goal. The name of the resourceful general is worthy of the name. Shiki, originally, this content should not be known by the world, right? I didn't expect it to be played by the viewing system. Sengoku probably hates the viewing system now. Jiahaha. Sakazuki, stop talking nonsense. There is no sacrifice in war. Just sacrificing the luck of a few people can wipe out the entire Whitebeard pirate group. This is a good deal. Kazuki Oden, nonsense. What if you are among the victims? What if your family members are also among the victims? Can you still say such things calmly? Sakazuki, are you looking for death? As soon as Kazuki Oden mentioned his family, Sakazuki was furious smoker. Damn it. It's a disgrace to Marine. It's a crime to Marine. We need victory, but it's not a victory like this. Doberman, shut up. It's not your turn to be a Commodore here. Sengoku, Enough. It's just about what the system plays. That's definitely not the case. GOLD, Roger. Nani? Can tell a lie in a serious manner. I am afraid that there is no second person in the world except you, Sengoku. Sengoku? This old man is not such a person. Marine will never do such a thing. Sengoku is now determined to bite to death and refuse to admit it now that we have seen this scene. When the Summit War really starts, we must never say such words again. It will be time to prove to everyone that Sengoku is not that kind of person. Perfect. The pacifist outside the harbor is pushing inward crazily. The war in the harbor is also fierce. Whitebeard ordered, "Don't worry about the enemies behind. Just attack the square of Marine base directly for me." Inspired by Whitebeard, the pirates rushed forward proudly. Luffy rushed to the front row under the cover of many helpers. But at this moment, Marine Admiral Kizaru suddenly appeared in front of him, Roronoa Zoro. Oops. Nami, it's not good. Trafalgar Law, is the head of the Straw Hat dying here? Urich, no matter how strong the Straw Hat boy is, he will definitely be vulnerable to the Yellow Ape Admiral. Basil Hawkins, the gap in strength is too great, and there is no chance of even escaping Scalacci Manup. Indeed, we have a deep understanding of the sense of oppression and despair in the Sabiti Archipelago. Before the supernovas experience the oppression of Marine Admiral at close range, they're in front of Kizu, not to mention the hope of winning, and there is no possibility of escaping. If it wasn't for their luck, they would have passed away collectively by now. GOLD, Roger. Indeed, this is troublesome. Edward Newgate, this kid won't. Hugh Ashishin, meet Kizaru Admiral, he's gone. Gee. Indeed, if he dies here, shouldn't this viewing be over? Everyone who saw this scene felt that Luffy must die. Go back wherever you came from. Paulicelino puts on a playful look on his face, then flies up kick directly on Luffy's body. Boom. Luffy's face was deformed by the kick, and the whole person was shot backwards like a rocket launcher. Impartial. Just hit Jinbei's body day. Jinbei caught Luffy. Luffy didn't get hurt. After all, he's a rubber man. The damage caused by ordinary bludgeoning blows is greatly reduced. Nani? When this scene appeared, all the people who were watching the movie were stunned. Doberman, Nani? Kizaru Admiral, you. Sakazuki. Idiot, what are you doing? Paulicelino. Hey, what are you talking about? Didn't I kick him hard? Kazan. He is a rubber man. Your kick will do little damage to him. You don't know about it, do you? Sakazuki. You gave him a fart kick. At that distance, wouldn't you just shoot some transparent holes in him? Rox D. Zebek. This Kizaru Admiral of your Marine has some secrets with the Straw Hat Boy? This kick is really accurate. Directly send it to the opponent of the Straw Hat Boy. Is this afraid that the Straw Hat Boy will break it? Ha ha ha. Shiki. Jia ha 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 ha. I also think that this kick is a bit weird. Achiku. Foot of escape. Sengoku. Paulicelino, what are you thinking? That's a battlefield. Everyone chooses his own path. As the Marine Marshal, Sengoku certainly understands what Paulicelino is worried about among the Marine 3 admirals. Paulicelino is the smoothest. It is impossible for him to do sinful things. Paulicelino. Marshal, I don't understand what you're talking about. Besides, these things didn't happen. How would I know? Looking at the scene on the screen, Paulicelino is also very speechless, even though this is a scene that hasn't happened yet. Paulicelino knew that if he really appeared in that scene, he would definitely choose to do it. After all, you know yourself best, he is not a fool. How could he personally kill the grandson of the Marine hero Garp? There's so many pirates on the battlefield. Why should I kill this relationship household? Killing a Luffy, it's impossible to give him a raise. It will only make a prestigious senior in Marine hate him good money. Unless he was out of his mind, he would definitely pretend to attack Luffy as shown in the screen just now, and kick him away. As for who killed Luffy, whoever loves it as long as it's not him, Paulicelino. In fact, in Paulicelino's opinion, except for Sakazuki, no one would do such a stupid thing. It's just that what makes Paulicelino depressed is, on such a large battlefield, his kick to Luffy was just a flash event, It's impossible for anyone to notice that he put a negligible water in this moment. However, this unlucky movie viewing system actually gave him a close-up and played it in front of everyone in the world. This is amazing. Pick goods. The war is still going on aboard Moby Dick. Whitebeard is holding Song Yunki and is about to join the battlefield. Suddenly, he tilted his head slightly and looked back, only to see the big whirlpool spider squad walking from behind. Schoolyard? Are you okay? I didn't contact you just now. Whitebeard's tone showed concern. He thought that Squad had died in battle just now, and he was relieved when he confirmed that he was still alive. I'm sorry. Daddy, he said sorry, but there was no trace of self-blame in his tone. Squad stands in front of Whitebeard, looking at the battlefield. Father, the pirate group who surrounded the big ship group suffered heavy losses. Well, we've already bet everything on this war, and now I'm going to go out, and I have to take advantage of the situation to break through the enemy's formation. Whitebeard looked ahead and responded in a deep voice. Group, indeed, we are all grateful to you for the Whitebeard pirates. We will go through fire and water. Squad threw away the knife while talking. The moment the voice fell, he suddenly turned around. 3-meter-long knife submerged in Whitebeard's chest. Chapter 143, Kizaru. Who dares to say that I let the water go? Please subscribe. Marco what? Izong father. Jaws. BD skewered. What are you doing? Poor Gasti Ace. Daddy. When this scene appeared, the members of the Whitebeard pirates were all dumbfounded. Can't believe this scene at all. Charlotte Lin. Wahahaha. Is this a surprise? Roxy Zebek. Haha. Whitebeard, you have been clamoring all day long to find your family members, and now you are stabbed by your filial son. Are you happy? Achiku, that idiot wants to find his family in the sea. Isn't that a brain pit? Look at Lin. If you want your family to give birth to yourself, this is the real family. Kaido, that's right. Blackbeard Teach was also Whitebeard's son before, right? Then he killed Whitebeard's other son. Absolutely, with one heart and one mind. Edward Newgate. Gula-la-la. I don't need you to talk nonsense about the old man. Squad. This, how could I treat Dad like this? Dad, I can't do anything to you. Seeing this scene, Squad was numb. He can probably guess why. He has a bloody feud with Roger, although he now knows that Ace is Roger's biological son. But even so, it is impossible for him to kill his father. At most, I will not work hard when I will be fighting Edward Newgate. Skewered, don't think too much. I know your loyalty to me. An honest person like you must be deceived by others to be taken advantage of by others. Skewered, Dad. No matter what, I will never hurt you. When Whitebeard was stabbed by Skewered, the audience was shocked. Afterwards, Scudder loudly said, Whitebeard's conspiracy. To save Ace for Whitebeard, we risked our lives to come here. As a result, you have already colluded with Sengoku. As long as you betray the 43 pirates under your command, the lives of your Whitebeard pirates and Ace will be saved. Look now, isn't it our big fleet that is being attacked intensively? When Squad yelled these words, all the pirates were stunned. Marco wants to kick Squad to death. However, Whitebeard stopped Marco and then embraced Squad, who was ready to die. Although you are a stupid son 193, I still love you. Are you kidding? You obviously want to exchange our lives. Squad yelled. Whitebeard shook his head. You are so loyal and upright. Who is deceived and used by you? Squad said loudly. Stop pretending. Marine Admiral Akainu has made a deal with me. He said he doesn't think the same way as Sengoku. He only wants your head. As long as I can kill you, he will help us leave. I see. Whitebeard suddenly realized. He hugged Skewered and said deeply, think about it. What has Ace done to you? Don't be fooled by the father's debt repayment. Get along well with Ace. Not only Ace is special, you guys are all my family. After that, Whitebeard let go of Skewered. He stood up and looked at Sengoku on the execution platform. You are so young, Sengoku. Saying that I, Whitebeard, betrayed my sons. You did a good job. It's beautiful. Regardless of his own injuries, he forcibly consumed a lot of physical strength. activated the ability of Shock Fruit, and smashed the entire ice wall on the right with a bang. The sea road that was originally closed suddenly opened up. The so-called betrayal is completely untenable. As a pirate, you have to decide for yourself what to believe. If you are not afraid of death, come with me. Whitebeard shouted loudly, holding Tsongyun cut. Alone, he suddenly jumped onto the marine battle square. Skuyarda, damn me. I actually believe that kind of lie. And then hurt my father, who loves me. Marco, thanks to having this viewing system, otherwise Marine's conspiracy would have really succeeded. Bista, fortunately now, this matter will not happen. Edward Newgate, Sengoku, didn't you expect that? Your despicable plan was exposed in advance. Go Whitebeard is in a good mood if it really happened that his son personally assassinated Lousy. He would suffer the most. Now, this hidden danger has been ruled out, and he is happier than picking up 10 billion Baileys. Shiki, what kind of idiot is this squad? How can he even believe that kind of thing? Stupid, pathetic, to be scared. Yeah, I'm a total idiot. Edward Newgate. Golden Lion, just shut up. Are you underestimating Sengoku? No matter who he tricks, he designs based on the other person's experience and personality. It's not something that can be avoided by being smart or not. Sengoku, stop talking nonsense. I never thought of trying to provoke the relationship between father and son. On the battlefield, our marine will defeat you two evil pirates in a dignified way. Sakazuki, yes, this so-called future picture is simply nonsense. It's just a Whitebeard pirate group, and it's not worthy of our marine's attention. GOLD Roger, haha, I will accept your shame. It's really thick. Whitebeard got angry and almost overturned the island of Marine for the war is heating up. A large number of pirates rushed to the front with Whitebeard. But at this moment, the super thick surrounding wall lifted up, enclosing the entire Crescent Harbor. Meteor Volcano. As Sakazuki launched his big move, the ice in the harbor was melted a lot. The pirates are about to lose their foothold and become turtles in the urn. Boom, the Moby DK was reduced to ashes under the attack of a large number of lava fists, and at this time, Sengoku suddenly announced the execution of Ace. Seeing that Ace was hopeless, Luffy had a whim. He grabbed a section of the mast, asked Jinbei to roll up the seawater with Murloc Karate, stared directly at the mast, sent Luffy to the sky, crossed the surrounding wall, and came directly to the execution platform below. This time, he faces 3 Marine admirals. Edward Newgate. Look at the situation. As far as the system is concerned, our Whitebeard pirates are very fierce in this war. Marco, yeah. Our situation is already at a complete disadvantage. Vesta, although the Straw Hat Kid rushed up, he was useless alone. And he might... Charlotte Katakuri. This is sure to die. Quinn, that's for sure. Even if he can survive against Kizaru Admiral, but this time against Marine 3 Admiral, he will not survive. Doberman, with a Kainu Admiral around, he really doesn't have any chance of surviving. Roronoa Zoro. It's over. Nami Luffy. Vinsmoke Sanji, damn. It can't be like this. Although Luffy was lucky enough to survive under Poliucelino's men, but at this time, no one believed that he would continue to live. You actually rushed here. This stage is too early for you. Kazan's eyes were slightly surprised. What a scary kid. Poliucelino's expression was wretched, and he couldn't see what he was thinking at all. Sakazuki's eyes showed disgust. I really don't know how to live or die. Son of the Dragon, Luffy panted heavily. He swung the mast in his hand and smashed it at the 3 of them. Ka. The mast just touched Kazan. It was frozen immediately, and then shattered to the ground. Boom, Sakazuki's hands suddenly turned into magma, and the rolling lava condensed into punches. He will burn Luffy to ashes with one punch, without hesitation. But at this moment, a dazzling light suddenly lit up. Poliucelino kicks out with an arrogant kick. Bigfoot relief. Luffy flew directly to a group of Marine miscellaneous soldiers. The whole chat room became quiet after being kicked directly. After several seconds, the chat room exploded with shock. Kazan, you idiot. What the hell are you doing? Flying Squirrel. Kizaru Admiral. You are So obvious. Sakazuki, idiot. Didn't you see that my magma punch has condensed? You kicked him out of the encirclement? Sora, poor Salino. As a Marine Admiral, there's only one position on the battlefield, and that is the Marine's position. BD, don't get confused. Polysalino, hey. Really, there are 3 admirals present, and obviously I was the only one who attacked Luffy in the straw hat, and then everyone still scolded me for being wrong. You could talk about it. Sengoku, you want to face? Shiki, Sengoku, you are going too far. People are right. There are 3 admirals present, and he is the only one who attacked the Straw Hat Boy. Why are you all saying that he is wrong? Gee ha 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 ha. Vince smokes Sanji. Luffy, is there some uncle or something you haven't told us? Nami, it's possible. Frankie, I feel this Kizaru Admiral is a good guy. Whitebeard pirates gave it a go. Under Ozzy's last effort, they sent a whole ship of pirates to the Marine Battle Square. Luffy was kicked off the execution platform, and Kuzan chased after him. He stretched out his hand, and a frozen spear appeared in his hand. Puff! Without any hesitation, Kuzan directly pierced Luffy's shoulder, and then pulled out viciously. Marco appeared in time and kicked Kuzan away. Polysalino. Why didn't you mention Kuzan? Did you release the water if you didn't see him? Sakazuki. Are you admitting that you're leaking water? Polysalino. Of course not. Didn't you see that Kuzan's frozen spear just showed mercy? Kuzan. Can't you see that I am ruthless and decisive? If it weren't for Marco's sudden appearance, the Straw Hat Boy would have died under my hands. Polusalino. Crap. Why didn't you stab him the first time? Monkey D. Garp. Can't you guys change the subject? As Kuzan's gymnastics teacher, of course Poon knew that Kuzan was keeping his hand on purpose. Just now, it's just that a group of Marine admirals are discussing whether his grandson is dead or not. And Garp is seriously upset, with the Whitebeard pirates entering the battlefield in large numbers. The situation on Luffy's side has improved a lot. Flying Squirrel Vice Admiral and Dalmesia Vice Admiral join forces to attack Luffy. Puff! Dalmesia Vice Admiral hits Luffy with a finger pistol, knocking him out of a stiff state. Subsequently, a precise laser beam from 800 meters away hits instantly. Cut! The laser beam opened a blood hole in Luffy's body. Kazan. Sakazuki. Sengoku. Seeing Kizaru in the picture actually attacking Luffy actively and using such a powerful move, everyone in Marine was stunned. Do we really wrong him just now? Polysalino, look. See? Who else dares to say that I'm a fool? I'm serious about pirates. Doberman. Sorry, Kizaru Admiral. I misunderstood you just now. Huashishin. Yes, we wrongly blamed you. Flying Squirrel. I apologize. Pierced through Luffy with one blow. Polysalino turned into a beam of light and came to Luffy in an instant. Dalmesia Vice Admiral and Flying Squirrel Vice Admiral saw that Kizaru Admiral was coming. They immediately had no doubt about him and turned around to help other battlefields. Luffy was seriously injured and fell to the ground, dying. Poor Salino stood in front of him with his hands in his pockets, looked down at Luffy. It's not all about courage. Luffy, if you don't have the strength, you can't save those who can't be saved no matter how hard you try. Speaking, Polysalino raised his foot, and it was a flying kick. -1 boom. Luffy, who was completely unconscious, shot out directly. Impartiality, it just fell into the hands of Whitebeard DC. Polysalino looked at Whitebeard and mocked lightly. Yo, Whitebeard's command is messed up too. People like you would send such garbage to lead the battle. When this scene happened, the chat room once again fell into a weird silence. After a while, violent laughter resounded crazily in the chat room. GOLD Roger. Haha, I laughed so hard. This Kizaru is amazing. Kazuki Odin. On the battlefield, you can't tell there is anything wrong with him. Marco, haha. Indeed, we can only see this because we are watching a movie. Otherwise, we really can't detect it. Sakazuki. How dare you say that you didn't turn on the water when you stepped on the horse? Kazan. I said, why are you so active in beating Luffy to serious injuries? So you're afraid that Luffy will be killed by Dalmesia and the Flying Squirrel, right? The delusion of killing Luffy then kicking Luffy away. Sengoku. Is that kicked away? It was kicked straight into Whitebeard's hands. Edward Newgate. Google la la la. Monkey D. Garp. Okay. You guys don't wrong Polysolino there. I don't think there's anything wrong with what he did. He didn't let the water go. It's just that Luffy has a strong ability to take a beating. The more Garp sees Polysolino, the more pleasing he is to his eyes. Now that Polysolino is criticized by people, he must help him. Chapter 144 Shanks. This time, I join the battle directly. Please subscribe. Life is passing away every moment. There are more and more corpses on the ground. It's floating in the sea. I can't tell if it's a marine or a pirate. The battle between Whitebeard and Akainu is extremely fierce and dangerous. Wow, Whitebeard suffered a sudden attack, spurting out a mouthful of reverse blood. Are you no match for the years, Whitebeard? Sakazuki showed a faint mockery at the corner of his mouth, then rushed up and was a magma crit. -1 on the other side. With the help of various people, Luffy came to the execution platform again. The cadres of the Revolutionary Army launched the ability to cut the fruit in lightning, creating a starlight avenue for Luffy that goes straight to the execution platform. Luffy is soaring all the way this time. There is no Marine Admiral, but there is a Marine hero blocking the end of the road. Dash. Before you were born, I was already fighting pirates. Luffy, you are now my enemy. After making such bold words, Pooh waved his iron fist of love and slammed Luffy hard. Then boom, he was punched off the execution platform by Luffy Joel D. Roger. Huh? Ha. Edward Newgate. Google la la la. Sengoku. Garp, you are acting too much. Although Sengoku didn't expect Garp to take action against Luffy, it's hard not to believe that Garp's rhetoric just now is that he really wants to stick to his marine duty. As a result, the bold words were louder than anyone else, and there was no point in hesitating to release the water Polysolino. Hey. This is not more than me. Anyway, I acted in great detail. You old guys, are fooling the audience like idiots. Crane. Garp can't help it. No one can kill their grandson with their own hands, right? Doberman. Fortunately, Marshal Sengoku is on the execution platform. Otherwise, he would have been saved by him. Flying Squirrel. Yes. Marshal Sengoku is still wise and has been sitting on the execution platform. Luffy punches Garp flying, picks up the key, and unlocks Ace. But at this moment, a laser beam suddenly appeared, cracked the key in Luffy's hand with great precision. Polysolino. Look, haven't I done another great job? Kazan, you call this meritorious service? Sakazuki, you shoot keys so accurately. Don't you just shoot people directly? Achiku, ha. Torture from the soul, Charlotte Linlin. Soul torture? I am familiar with this. Ha. Polysolino, you two are really boring. If you say that, then let me ask you two, why can I pay attention to the movement of the execution platform? But you two can't pay attention? Is it because the two of you deliberately didn't pay attention? Flying Squirrel, Kizura Admiral, is it possible you are actually focusing on Straw Hat Luffy? Gold Roger. The question is on the main artery. Shiki, it's clearly a tacit understanding. Why do you have to tear him down? This kid Kizuru is too difficult, Crane. Are you still a boy? He is your uncle at the present age. Polysolino, Vice Admiral, Flying Squirrel. You're pretty good. Stop. Straw Hat Luffy. Don't think I'll let you go. Seeing that Luffy was about to drag Ace away, Sengoku immediately transformed into a Buddha form. Like a golden Buddha descending into the world, the Buddha's light is shining, and the majesty of the sky is unstoppable. Since Garp can't do anything to you, I can only deal with you myself. Sengoku raised his big fist and punched Luffy down. Giant balloon. Luffy blows on his fingers, raises his hand to strike, and collides with Sengoku's big Buddha fist. Boom. Luffy is fine, but the execution platform was knocked crooked. Boom. Afterwards, dozens of shells flew in. Sengoku immediately retreated tactically to avoid the shells. With the help of Mr. Three's candle key, Luffy successfully opened the sea stone key in Ace's hand in the flames of the shell explosion. The three of them landed safely in the flame channel of Ace. When seeing this scene happen, the expressions of everyone in Marine are a little weird. Paulusolino. War Bell. Seems like there is no J. Kazan. It's a little bit Crane. Hey, they're all the same. Monkey D. Garp. Haha. Sengoku. My good brother. Sengoku. What are you talking about? Sakazuki. Would the full attack in the form of the Buddha be able to immune to Death Straw Hat Luffy? Marshall, are you also releasing water? Unlike others, Sakazuki is outspoken. Sengoku. Nonsense. Didn't you see what happened? This old man was about to give chase, but the cannonballs from those idiots bombarded me. So I had to retreat first to avoid the shells. Paulusolino. Ahem. Let me see who will talk about me this time. Gold Roger. Ha, Sengoku. With all due respect, you're not as good as Kizaru Kid. Under your punch, the Straw Hat Luffy is intact. Sengoku. Nonsense. I'm old. How powerful can a punch be? Besides, didn't you see the Straw Hat Luffy used a rubber balloon to relieve the force? Shiki. Really? Listening to your sophistry, it really seems like that. Sengoku. Get out. Luffy and Ace cooperate very well, and they will break out of the tight encirclement soon. Whitebeard was seriously injured and made a decision to die alone and save the others. Ace kowtowed to Whitebeard, then resolutely left. But at this moment, Akainu's mocking voice came. As soon as Ace was rescued, he immediately ran away with his tail between his legs. The Whitebeard pirates are really a bunch of cowards. The captain is also incompetent. There's really no way. After all, they just went up just a loser of an era. As soon as these words came out, Ace was successfully mobilized. Then, under Luffy's horrified and desperate eyes, Ace was punched through the chest by Sakazuki. Whitebeard was furious, dragged his body, and fought with Akainu. Akainu knocked off half of his head, and then knocked Akainu down the canyon under the ability of Shock Fruit. Marineford was directly divided into two, the pirates on this side of the canyon, and the Marines on the other side of the canyon. The only one is special. That's Whitebeard. He stood alone on the Marine Peninsula. Behind him is the Abyss, and in front of him are all Marines. Saboa, Monkey D. Luffy, Ace, Roronoa Zoro, calm down. This isn't real. Marco, damn. Ace is dead. Is Daddy going to die too? Vista, I will never allow this to happen. Jinbei, it will never happen this time. Izan Ace. Remember, when the battle officially begins, no matter what aggressive method Akainu uses, you must never be fooled. Poor Gasti Ace. As long as Dad can leave with us, I will never look back. Sakazuki. What are you thinking? This time the war starts, I will kill you directly. Gold Roger. How dare you? If Ace dies, all the family members of you Marine will be buried with him. Sengoku. BD. Worse than your wife and children. UBD don't even know the rules. Gold Roger. If my sons are dead, then no one else in this world needs to have sons. Sora. This is a pirate. Despicable and shameless. Gold Roger. Don't get me wrong. I've never been a good person. The only difference between me and you is that I admit that I am a bad person. And you are similar to us pirates, but you want to give yourself the banner of justice. Head to A. Shiki, head to A. Crocus, O2A. All of a sudden, the chat room was swiped by Otol. Sengoku, fart. At least the allied countries under the government of the world can enjoy a peaceful life. But you pirates only attack Heimei. Edward Newgate, you're the fart, right? Which pirate would dare to mess with the island that this old man shelters? Charlotte Linlin, my mother's country. Everyone lives and works in peace and contentment. Shanks, in my land, people live happily. Jolly Roger. To put it bluntly, everyone is the same. The enclosure is king. It's just that your world government and Marine are more greedy and want the whole world to be under your control. Calm. Stop talking nonsense. Roger, since you were resurrected and the old man is young, then this time, Summit War, you and I will fight again. Gold Roger. Waiting for you. Whitebeard fights Marine alone. Suddenly, the Blackbeard pirates appeared in Summit War. The exhausted Whitebeard grabbed Blackbeard Teach's head with one hand, but unfortunately he was too exhausted to deliver a fatal blow. The Blackbeard pirates swarmed up and killed Whitebeard. Afterwards, the sun and black cloth covered Buggy. When the black cloth is lifted again, Shock Fruit's ability has been taken away by Blackbeard Teach. Dark Cave Road. Blackbeard activates the ability of Dark Fruit. Because the Emperor's Marine is swallowed by his dark energy, a shockwave. Blackbeard activates the ability of Shock Fruit again, punching out through the air. The already riddled naval headquarters building completely collapsed under Blackbeard's attack. Zero. Ask for flowers. Thieves, ha ha ha. The dark power that turns everything into nothing. The power of vibration that destroys everything. I got all. In this way, I will be invincible. Peace-loving stupid people, Marines, the world government, and pirates. The future of this world is a foregone conclusion. Thieves, ha ha. That's right, in the future it will. Speaking of which, Blackbeard raised his hands high, facing the only shadow on the scene like a phone bug. He laughed ferociously and said, "From now on it will be my era." Marshall D. Teach, huh? Did I get Daddy's Shock Fruit as expected? Ha 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 ha. Look at my plan is a success. Marco Teach, don't worry, this scene won't happen again. Marshall D. Teach, thieves, ha ha. Don't be so absolute. As long as dreams are still wanted, everything can happen. Sengoku, damn it. Teach, you joined Shichibukai to prepare for this moment, right? Marshall D. Teach, that's right. It doesn't matter if you know now. My purpose of joining Shichibukai has been achieved. I don't care about that title anymore. So first, let this marine ford sink to the bottom of the sea. Excited Blackbeard activates the Shock Fruit ability and immediately wants to make naval headquarters disappear, but at this moment, a golden Buddha descended from the sky. Buddha light shockwave. I saw Sengoku in Buddha form pushing his huge palm in the direction of Blackbeard. A terrifying energy explosion suddenly appeared, drowning the entire Blackbeard pirate group, including Blackbeard. Like a gust of wind blowing fallen leaves. Everyone in the Blackbeard pirates is like garbage in the wind. All of them are blown to bits and pieces. Joel D. Roger. Sengoku. This is the age you said. The fist has no strength? Shiki. Hey ha 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 ha. Just now, when he punched Luffy in the straw hat, he didn't even hurt his fur, but now he punches the whole Blackbeard pirates with one punch. Polysolino. Marshall, I can't seem to hide it. Sengoku, don't meddle with you. This old man is obviously for the sake of justice, and he will not hesitate to burn his life to protect the justice of Marine. Kazan, Crane, Jinbei flees for his life with a bloody Luffy all the way. Sakazuki is pressing behind him every step of the way. Seeing that Jinbei and Luffy had nowhere to go, Trafalgar Law's submarine appeared. Hey, you two come up quickly. The hatch opens. Trafalgar shouts at Jinbei. Monkey D. Luffy, Trawman, Kid Eustace, Nanny. Luo also appeared in Summit War. Basil Hawkins. Dare to participate in such an occasion. What audacity, Trafalgar Law. I don't know why it's there, but if I had to guess, I guess it was because Sengoku ordered the live signal to be interrupted, so I might want to go and see it. Jewelry Polly. Then why are you popping up to save Straw Hat Luffy now? Trafalgar Law, who knows? Maybe a passing interest. Sakazuki led Marine to pursue bravely and killed the rest of the Whitebeard pirates and fled when Jingigo is available. Marine Soldier Kirby blocked Sakazuki for a few seconds. Then, the Red Hair pirates appeared. I'm here to end this war. The continuation of this battle will only increase the casualties of both sides. If there are still people who haven't fought enough, let's fight with you. Speaking of this, Shanks looked stern and his voice resounded through the audience. Everyone here, please do me a favor. Afterwards, everyone really gave Shanks face. The Summit War is over. Sengoku, Red Hair, you really joined in. Shanks, it's not about joining this time. Captain Roger is here. I'm going to join the battle directly. GOLD, Roger. Haha. Little Shanks and little Buggy are here. I feel like a world away, Sakazuki. It doesn't matter how much you come. I'll let you all die here. Sakazuki. That's right. What BD is that Marine named Kebe? As soon as the viewing system is over, he will be dealt with according to military law and killed on the spot. Monkey D. Garp. Dare you? Sakazuki, huh? It's your man again? Oomph. If you don't want him to die, just take care of him. Don't release him to seal the face of our Marine. In the noisy quarrel in the chat room, the white frame screen is gradually dimmed. The screen disappears. 3. Chapter 145 read Luffy's analysis of the reasons for launching Summit War. Please subscribe. Marco, divorce the pacifist, the Iron Wall, and teach the BD. The process of the Summit War has been fully understood, so these must not be allowed to happen again. Jinbei Daddy, this time we won't let you die. Jaws, this time I have the full-level armament Haki rewarded by the viewing system. Akiji, stop trying to freeze me. Edward Newgate, Gulalala. Ace, this time none of us have to die. Sengoku, don't take it for granted. Marine is not a vegetarian. This time, I'll let you all go back and forth. Kong, that's right. Since the movie viewing system has revealed all the cards of both sides, then our Marine side has the advantage in this battle. Sengoku, you control the situation well, and I will lead people to go as soon as the battle starts. Support. Mariewa is very close to Naval Headquarters, and the troops start from Mariewa and will soon reach Naval Headquarters. So, in this battle, although it seems that the number of pirates is greater than the original advantage, but if Mariewa reinforcements are added, then as Kong said, the advantage is mine. Right now the screen, with red border, gradually brightens. The screen appears. The Straw Hat Pirates stayed on a small island near the Chandoli Islands for a few days, and they didn't come back to Sabeti Archipelago until the execution day. Come to a high-rise building on Island 33. The view here is very good, and you can just see the live broadcast on the large circular screen on the soap bubble dome. Of course, the people here are not limited to the Straw Hat Pirates. There are many people who have already occupied a good perspective in advance. Wow. The location is great here. Luffy, come on. I've got one for you. Nami finds a good place and quickly waves to Luffy. Miss Nami, here I come. Sanji ran over to 007 with red hearts in his eyes. He slipped and fell to the ground with a buttock. Zoro laughed out loud. Then the two fought together. On the big screen, Marine is ready. On the battle platform in Crescent Harbor, Marine elites at all levels are ready to go. 7 warlords of the sea came 5. Outside the Crescent Harbor, warships are waiting. On the sea in the distance, large pirate ships are coming in a majestic array. Printed on the sail are one after another famous pirate groups in New World. Seeing the pirates' ships appear on the big screen, Nami took Luffy's arm and shook it. Wow, here we are. As expected of the 4 Emperor's pirates, so many helpers can be summoned with a single call. Luffy nodded and also said with emotion, yes, there are so many people who are willing to go through fire and water for him. No matter what kind of person this Whitebeard is, he is worth it in this life. They have encountered many pirate groups before, but to be honest, most of the pirate groups are actually a group of rabble gathered together to bully others. Once encountering an invincible force, they will immediately scatter like birds and beasts and fly separately when disaster strikes. But this pirate group is different. How dare they join together to attack Naval Headquarters? Usopp pointed his thumb at himself. What's the matter? I thought I took a day trip to Mariewa with 80 million troops, and when the 5 elders toasted me, they kept their glasses very low. Really? Chopper's eyes lit up, looking at Usopp with excitement and admiration. Luffy shook his head slightly. This is not the same as bragging. According to what I have heard in the past few days, although the 4 emperors are the 4 most powerful pirates in the New World, but no matter which 4 emperors regiment it is, if you want to use the power of an imperial regiment to fight against Naval Headquarters, it will be like sending yourself to death. Whitebeard must be an amazing person to be able to respond to so many people willingly to die for him. Luffy commented pertinently. GOLD Roger. Yo, Whitebeard, the red Luffy boy over there is very optimistic about you. Edward Newgate. Goo la la la. This shows that he has a good vision, doesn't it, Charlotte Linlin? If you want to say everything, even Tunyan can do it. Achiko. Linlin, don't say it. You really don't say it. Although your family is more obedient, but if you really order to attack naval headquarters, your ant group really can't work together like the Whitebeard group. Kaido, isn't it just to fight naval headquarters? Who dares to disobey Laozi's order? Shiki. Kaido, don't you fool yourself. Your broken group can only be maintained by your forced deterrence, but if you have a little bit of decline, your broken group will be Jack. Fart. As long as the governor orders, I dare to go to naval headquarters now. Shiki. What are you? Come to chime in. Nami wondered. Shouldn't it be that your brother Ace is amazing? These people are all here to save him. Luffy laughed. It should be said that Whitebeard wanted to save him, so other people would save him. These people should be really loyal to Whitebeard. So no matter what decision Whitebeard makes, they will follow Whitebeard without hesitation pace. Hearing this, the partners around were all shocked. Is this Whitebeard so awesome? At this time, Buggy's upper body suspended in the air reached out and rubbed his chin, wondering, what kind of medicine did Marines take wrongly? Although the captain of the second team of the Whitebeard team is a very important role, but as for doing such a thing, what about a big battle? It was a public execution, and it was announced in advance so that everyone in the world knew about it. Whitebeard had to rob the court. Otherwise, he would never be able to gain a foothold in New World. Now that such a big war has happened, I think that guy Sengoku is already green with regret. Buggy laughed lightly. No, Buggy, you are wrong. Luffy laughed and said firmly, actually, this war itself is aimed at Whitebeard. Ace is just an important pawn in Marine's plan. Towards Whitebeard? Buggy was a little stunned. Half of his body flew back and joined with his lower body. Luffy shrugged his shoulders. It's not difficult to analyze, right? If Marine really just wants to execute Ace, then he can execute it anytime and anywhere. Even if it's a public live broadcast to the world, it's okay. Ace was executed publicly yesterday. The Whitebeard pirates haven't assembled yet. What can they do? Just wait for the Whitebeard pirates to arrive. To put it bluntly, it's just using the bait of Ace to catch the super fish of the Whitebeard pirates. Luffy said. Listening to Luffy's analysis, not only the partners of the Straw Hat Pirates took a deep breath, but even the people around them gathered around curiously. Listening to Luffy's analysis, a melon-eating crowd exclaimed, "Oh my god, this Straw Hat guy. After hearing your analysis, it's really the case. I didn't expect a hero like Whitebeard to not see Marine's strategy." You are wrong. Luffy smiled slightly, like a spring breeze blowing on his face. He looked at the melon eaters. If Whitebeard can't even see such an obvious conspiracy, he can't be the four emperors today. He must have seen it, but the reason why he had to go to rescue, what reason? Another melon eater asked curiously. I don't know. Luffy spread his hands and said very sincerely. At this time, a local merchant in Sabeti Archipelago said, however, naval headquarters is so determined to fight the Whitebeard pirates this time, it seems that they really care about the people of the world. Sengoku. This is a man of enlightenment. Crane. It seems that ordinary people are still on Marine's side. Shiki. When one person speaks for your Marine, does everyone support your Marine? Gold Roger. Thick-skinned as always has no bottom line. Nanny. Luffy opened his mouth in astonishment and then showed a speechless expression. This uncle. What business do you do? I run a bakery. Uncle Eat Melon replied. Luffy asked, if you saw a homeless person on the side of the road starving, would you give him a piece of bread from the store? I will. Uncle Eat Melon said without hesitation. Luffy asked again, what if there are hundreds of homeless people begging in your shop? Would you give them all the bread in the shop? Uncle Eat Melon stares. Impossible. I have a family to support myself. If I take out all the bread, wouldn't my family and I starve to death? Luffy nodded. Yeah, you understand this truth. Can Marine not understand? Luffy continued. You said that Marine sent a team to destroy the pirates. Then I believe it. But you said that you used all of Marine's wealth to destroy the pirates. Don't say I don't believe it. The world government is the first to not promise. Oh, at this time, A silver-haired old man wearing glasses surrounded Luffy curiously when he heard what Luffy said. What is the purpose? Buggy looked up and suddenly opened his mouth wide. Gold, Roger. Haha. Rayleigh, what are you messing with over there, Shanks? Buggy was shocked when he saw you, Silver Rayleigh. Ahem. How do I know what I'm doing over there? Shacky. This old thing just can't sit still and likes to meddle in other things. Edward Newgate. Google la la la. At this time, Luffy continued to speak. This uncle, I believe that there must be many true heroes in the Marine who will sacrifice their own lives to protect civilians for the sake of justice. But if a war requires all Marines to participate in the war, then the purpose behind it is only 2 words. What? The silver-haired uncle asked cooperatively benefits. Luffy said calmly, Sengoku. Nonsense. Sakazuki. The purpose of this war is indeed only 2 words, but is not profit, but justice. Crane. I thought the red Luffy over there could analyze the what came out. I didn't expect it to be all nonsense. What a serious nonsense. Luffy said calmly under the suspicious gazes of everyone. Marine is used by the world government to manage the countries allied to the world government. To launch a war of this scale, no matter whether Marine is losing is winning, once the loss is too big, once the Marine's loss is too big, then the Revolutionary Army will definitely take advantage of the vacancy and take over some of the world's official alliance countries. This is something the government of the world cannot bear. 89. 1. According to what you said, why did Marines start this war? Isn't it contradictory? Rayleigh asked suspiciously. He's not pretending to be stupid, but he really doesn't understand why the Summit War happened. He also understands what Luffy said. Even if Marine wins this battle, at most the Whitebeard pirates will be disabled. However, even if one Whitebeard is lost, there will definitely be Blackbeard, Bluebeard, Redbeard, and Flowerbeard. There will always be a new, big pirate force to take advantage of the momentum and become a new pirate force. If it's just to eliminate the Whitebeard pirates, it doesn't make any sense. Luffy looked at his hands. When a person does something that is bound to suffer, the answer is already ready. That is, if he does it, he will lose even more. Or, there are potentially greater benefits worth taking a gamble on. In short, others may not see it, but he must see it himself. Listening to Luffy's explanation, Rayleigh thought deeply. He looked at Luffy. Then can you guess, if Marine doesn't destroy the Whitebeard pirates, what will happen to them? Or, if they destroy the Whitebeard pirates, is there any potential benefit? Luffy thought for a while. You can guess. First of all, I don't think Marine wants to destroy the Whitebeard pirates, but the government of the world. A war Marine of this scale, the Marshal of the Army, didn't have the guts to launch it without going through the world government. Secondly, it is easy to guess what the government of the world cares about. Or, like O'Hara, the Whitebeard pirates touched the taboo of the world government and the blank 100 years of history. Or the Whitebeard pirates move their cake. Of course, I think the latter is more likely. According to the information I have obtained recently, I found that the people of the islands under the Whitebeard pirates live in peace and don't have to worry about being harassed by other pirates. People's hearts are very prosperous. 2.1 inch, and this is exactly what the government of the world does not want to see, because the government of the world knows that the power of role models is the most terrifying. If other great pirates also learn from Whitebeard, then the government of the world will be in the hearts of those common people. It becomes dispensable in the eyes. The world government can allow the existence of cruel and evil big pirates, because such pirates will only drive the people's hearts to the world government. World government factory, they need to exist temporarily. And Whitebeard, a big pirate who never asks for a bailee from civilians in the jurisdiction, is fighting for the people's hearts with the world's government. And the world's government will never allow such an ignorant existence. When Whitebeard was strong and strong, even if the government of the world wanted to get rid of him, they were worried that the loss would be too great. But now Whitebeard is old, weak, sick, and disabled. Time to kill him to stand up. If you were the world government, would you choose to do this? Luffy finished his analysis, pouted at Rayleigh, and asked lightly. Rayleigh couldn't see anything on his face, but his heart was shocked. He has to admit that if he changed it to the role of the world government, he would do the same actually. The reason why Rayleigh came to chat with Luffy is because Luffy's analysis attracted him, and because he recognized the straw hat on Luffy's head at a glance. And now, after he listened to Luffy's analysis, he finally understood. The reason why Roger's straw hat is worn on the head of the kid in front of him may not be accidental. At the beginning they arrived at Raftel with Roger, but after going there, they realized that they went early, and now, looking at the young man in front of him, his breathing became a little short. Is he the one in the prophecy? Chapter 146, Naval Headquarters. The Straw Hats are here. Please subscribe. Sabaody Archipelago. After listening to Hong Luffy's analysis, everyone fell into deep thought. Indeed, just as Red Luffy said, the government of the world wants to eliminate the Whitebeard pirates at all costs. Is it just for justice? Do not make jokes. The world government has existed for 800 years, and the pirates have also existed for 800 years. When did the government of the world spare no effort to destroy a pirate group? Even the One Piece King Roger, the government of the world, did not hesitate to use all of Marine's wealth to deal with it now for a Whitebeard pirates, the best of the best. This is indeed unreasonable. You know, Marine and the Whitebeard pirates are at war. Who can guarantee that other royal groups will not join the battle? Isn't Marine afraid that the pirates will take the opportunity to join forces and deal with naval headquarters together? Although the possibility of this is very small, it is possible after all. But even taking such a risk, the world government still let Marine take the initiative to provoke such a big battle. Foolish people may believe the justice that the government of the world said, but people with a little bit of knowledge will not believe such ridiculous remarks until after Red Luffy's past analysis. People just woke up suddenly. Yes, the Whitebeard pirates have never fought for supremacy in the past 20 years, but the influence of the Whitebeard pirate ships is getting bigger and bigger. Among the current 4 Emperor's pirates, the power and influence of the Whitebeard pirates is undoubtedly the largest. As long as it is an island under his jurisdiction, the civilians all call him Daddy. It can be seen how important Whitebeard is in the hearts of ordinary people. It is precisely because of this that the cake of people's hearts has been passive, and the government of the world can't sit still. The Whitebeard pirates must be eliminated. If you really want to deal with pirates for the sake of the so-called justice, then it is obvious that you should first deal with the Beast Pirates, a pirate group that harms one side. But the government of the world did not do that. The answer is obvious. The Beast Pirates are beneficial in their eyes, and the Whitebeard pirates are bad in their eyes. Maka's Mazin. What a load of nonsense. How serious is it to say such an outrageous statement? This Red Luffy isn't a hole. St. Topman Vacheli. What's even more ridiculous is that those people in the video still believe what he said 01. What a bunch of hopeless idiots. Kong. When is it Whitebeard's turn to compete with the world government? Is he worthy? Sengoku. It's ABD, it's a lie. Edward Newgate. Goolalala. You are so anxious, are you guilty? GOLD Roger. Is it right for the Red Luffy? Ha ha ha. The so-called dog jumping over the wall should be what you guys look like now. Shiki. Jiahahaha. I really didn't expect that there are so many secrets hidden behind a war. But after listening to Hong Luffy's analysis, it seems to be like this. Marco. Dad has protected too many people over the years. Under Dad's protection, these people don't have to worry about being bullied by pirates, and they don't have to pay any super gold. Jaws. Father just wants to protect some people to the best of his abilities. Why is he being targeted like this? Izong. Damn Sengoku, damn 5 elders. You really deserve to die. Sakazuki. Stop talking nonsense. It's only natural for Marine to kill pirates. Edward Newgate. Magma Boy, have you been brainwashed? There is no such thing as a matter of course in this world. What you do is nothing but for your own benefit. Crane. Oh, so you Whitebeard have your own purpose in using those civilians. Edward Newgate. He is indeed the chief of staff of Marine, who is as smart as Sengoku. He can dig holes for me when he gets the chance. But why not answer you? I just enjoy the feeling of having family. Those civilians, if they are willing to call me daddy, I am willing to protect them. Port Gas D. Ace, dad. Marco, dad. Jinbei, daddy. At this time, in the waters of the Whitebeard pirates, on many islands the daddy, one after another, is like the waves of the sea, one after another, rushing towards the sky. Look, there is a situation in the harbor. Nami pointed at the big screen and shouted loudly. As she said, I saw the water surface in Crescent Harbor, churning then. The 4 warships of the Whitebeard pirates floated out of the water. Ace, say your father's name. Sengoku shouted loudly while holding the radio receiver. Ace lowered his head and said in a deep voice, My daddy is Whitebeard. Whitebeard. Luffy listened to Ace's answer on the soap bubble screen, and his eyes widened in astonishment. Is Ace's father actually Whitebeard? Then I understand. Whitebeard is old, no wonder you were desperate to save Ace. Although Luffy and Ace had met when they were young, it was more of a spiritual friendship. They only knew that there was such a righteous brother and righteous brother, but Luffy never asked about Ace's life experience. He only knows that Ace is a child adopted by his grandfather Puff. Hearing Luffy murmuring in doubt, Rayleigh spewed out the old wine as soon as it entered his throat at this time. Luffy continued to talk to himself. Huh? Then say so. Whitebeard has to call my daddy when he sees me. Cough, cough, cough. Rayleigh is no longer living in Bungbu. The strong alcohol is irritating his throat, and he coughed violently. Jolly Roger. Aha! Whitebeard, you have to call Garp a foster father Edward Newgate. You're laughing, fart? If you want to count like this, then you have to call Garp a daddy. Gold, Roger. Huh? Shit. Garp is taking advantage of us. Monkey D. Garp. Haha. The old man didn't say anything. I let you say everything, and it's up to me? Ha ha. Shiki. Jia ha 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 ha. Charlotte Linlin. Wahaha. No, no, no. Straw Hat Kid, you made a mistake. Ace called Whitebeard daddy. That's because the Whitebeard pirates call Whitebeard daddy. Rayleigh cleared his throat and immediately explained to Luffy. Luffy frowned, I know. But isn't Sengoku asking about his biological father now? Isn't Ace answering Whitebeard? Rayleigh shook his head, no. Ace said that on purpose. He probably didn't want to admit his background. No way. Is there something wrong with Ace's background? Luffy wondered. Hey, keep watching. Sengoku should be announced soon. Rayleigh sighs and pats Luffy on the shoulder. Monkey D. Luffy. Ugh, I over there don't know who Ace's father is. Sabo, don't be surprised. You over there may not even have seen my face. Poor Gasty Ace. We have little contact over there. Although we recognize each other as brothers, we would not tell you this kind of thing easily. Soon, Sengoku told about Ace's life experience, and then loudly announced, Your father is the One Piece King Gore Roger. Nanny. After hearing the identity of Ace, not only Luffy, but everyone opened their mouths in shock. The entire Sabati archipelago is in an uproar. Luffy was shocked. Ace is Roger's son? Ace is the captain's son. Buggy was even more surprised from ear to ear, and he looked at Rayleigh in disbelief. Rayleigh looked at Buggy and slightly relaxed his shoulders. Yes, also learned about this disappearance through the information of the underground world after Ace was captured. Hearing Rayleigh's confirmation, Buggy hurriedly pulled Rayleigh to a distance and whispered, Brother Rayleigh, why don't we save him? If it was the former Buggy, there is a high probability that he would not say such a thing. But once a person has the strength, he will have the confidence to speak. And he already knows that Ace is Luffy's adopted brother. And now he also knows that Ace is the captain's son. If Luffy decides to save him, Buggy will definitely be the first to agree. I did think about the idea you mentioned, but I just thought about it for a while and immediately drove it out of my mind. Rayleigh smiled wryly. The Roger Pirates have been disbanded for many years. Even if I want to save them, I have more than I could do. Buggy is silent. He has to admit that what Lien said is very realistic. Yes, even if you want to save it. So what is it possible to save this matter if you want to? At this time, on the soap bubble screen, Sengoku continued to speak generously. If you keep letting go with your aptitude, you will eventually reach the peak of the next era of pirates. So getting your head here today means a lot, even if it turns into an all-out war with the Whitebeard pirates. With Sengoku's bold words, the morale of the entire naval headquarters is boosted. What? Luffy's face became extremely ugly when he heard Sengoku's words. Although Ace was used as the bait to lure the Whitebeard pirates into the bait, but when this charge was announced, Luffy was furious. If Ace is sentenced to death for committing many crimes and killing innocent people, Luffy thinks there is no problem. But at this time, Sengoku declared the crime to him. Just because he has the blood of Roger the Pirate King. What is this? Blood guilty theory? If so, I still wear the straw hat of Pirate King Roger on my head. So when I wear the straw hat, I should also be sentenced to death? Luffy stared at the scene on the screen with soap bubbles. He looked at Ace, who was kneeling there, and argued hard, and obviously didn't want to admit that he was the blood of Roger, the Pirate King. DC, this scene made the anger in his heart erupt like a volcano. Ace is unwilling to admit that he is a descendant of Roger, which is completely understandable. A person who has never seen his biological father since he was born, why should he ask him to how about getting to know your own father? No matter from which point of view, Ace is not wrong. Although Ace really doesn't want to be Roger's son from the bottom of his heart. But others don't let him go. Blood is guilty. How funny. And at this time, one of the 3 live screens happened to be given to the camp of General Marine Luffy's gaze froze. He saw Grandpa on his screen. The old guy with 2 stacks of gray hair is lowering his head, quietly wiping his tears with his fingers. An old Marine next to her seems to be saying comforting words. Then, Garp looked up and burst out laughing. Although he laughed loudly, Luffy can still feel the pain in his heart, even through the screen. Luffy and Ace don't have a very deep relationship, but Luffy knows that since Garp can adopt Ace back, he has already treated him as a grandson. Grandpa must be in pain right now. Taking a deep breath, Luffy's eye circles are a little red, even though he is a pirate now. Grandpa is Grandpa. It is impossible for him not to care about Grandpa's feelings. If Ace commits suicide, Luffy will not have any intentions to hide. 360, but the problem is Ace's death penalty is inexplicable, and he was used as a bait. Call. Luffy's chest heaves deeply. Look, first, I'm going to the toilet. He patted Nami on the shoulder, then stood up and left. A person came to the edge of the port alone and found the 1,000 miles of sunshine. This high-tech ship cannot be driven by one person. Of course, Luffy didn't plan to sail the boat either. Whether it is the 1,000 miles of sunshine or the Melee, if he drives to naval headquarters alone, it will be free. He entered the 1,000 miles of sunshine and found the cultivation room for cultivating shellfish. After taking about 20 blast shells, Luffy went outside. The effect of the spray shell is much stronger than that of the wind shell. In the case of Luffy using a rubber balloon, it is enough to spray Luffy all the way to naval headquarters. However, when he came outside the cabin door of 1,000 miles of sunshine, he stopped in his tracks. Because there is a row of people standing in front of him. Nami put her hands on her hips and roared angrily. Luffy, are you going to naval headquarters alone? Buggy said loudly. Luffy, I'll go with you. Usopp, yeah. How can we leave us alone? Zoro pressed his hand on the knife, and his tone was extremely firm. Luffy, no matter where you go, I will be with you. Sanji held a cigarette and took a puff. If you want to go to naval headquarters alone to see beautiful women, I won't agree. Robin holds Hun in both hands. You were the one who let me board the boat at the beginning. Why? Now you want to leave me alone? Are you so irresponsible? Frankie, without me, you can't even sail a boat. Brooke tidied up the afro. When you're fighting, if no one is playing a song, don't you feel lonely? Chopper didn't speak, but ran away while hugging Luffy. Luffy shook his head painfully when he saw that his partners had quietly followed. This is my own business. How can I hurt everyone? BD, we are partners. Luffy, you are our captain. What are you talking about? Without you, I wouldn't be where Buggy is today. You have to understand what you mean to us. Your business is our business. This is a partner. Stop talking nonsense. Go to naval headquarters? I'm going to sail now. When you encounter dangerous things, you go alone. So why did you bring us to spend together when you earned Bailey? Listening to Luffy's words, the Straw Hat Pirates all showed righteous indignation. Chapter 147 Sanji lights a cigarette on top, and the Straw Hat Pirates join in. Please subscribe. The angry voices of the partners resounded in Luffy's ears, listening to everyone's words. Luffy suddenly woke up. Yes, I seem to be doing this for everyone's benefit, but I've already hurt everyone inadvertently. I'm the captain, but I'm also everyone's partner. Snapped. Luffy gave himself a hard blow. Damn it. I'm the one who shamed the title of partner. I'm sorry, my friends. I will never have such a stupid idea again. Now, I'm at Naval Headquarters to seek justice. You. Luffy looked up at everyone and shouted vigorously, "Come with me." Good. Partner's response is extremely firm. Huh? That uncle. What's your situation? Luffy suddenly saw that the uncle who was chatting with him on the top of the building had followed him, and asked suspiciously, "Well, can I join the fun?" Rayleigh asked with a sip of his wine and a smile. At this time, Buggy explained, "Luffy, he is Pluton Rayleigh. I used to be the Roger Pirates. And he's the deputy captain of the Roger Pirates." When I heard the name Rayleigh, the friends around me were shocked. Rayleigh waved his hand and smiled. Aha, that's all in the past. Now I'm just an old man in his dying years. But since I know that you're going to save Roger's son, then I, as Roger's good brother, if I don't follow, then I'm too inhuman. Okay, since you are the reason, hurry up and get on the boat. Since he is one of his own and a strong one, Luffy naturally has no reason to refuse. After everyone boarded the boat, Fran led the Cube sisters to set sail immediately. On the whole, during this period of time, the newly installed wind shells are fully activated, and they are thrown toward the Marine Bencher at the fastest speed. GOLD Roger. Rayleigh also followed. Silver Rayleigh. Ah, it seems that I'm quite free over there, Monkey D. Luffy, great. Over there I went to save Ace too. Seeing Red Luffy wearing Straw Hat Pirates went to Naval Headquarters together, Luffy was very excited. Roronoa Zoro. I really envy me over there. I could go to Naval Headquarters with Luffy. Vince Smoke Sanji, yeah. We can fight side by side together. Nico Robin. The two of you over there are strong enough to participate in the Summit War. If you go here, won't it add trouble to Luffy? Frankie, huh? Yeah, don't think that we over there are as good as us here, poor gassy Ace. Weird. Luffy over there obviously didn't plan to come to save me. Why did he come all of a sudden? And he brought the whole Straw Hat Sea Bandit group together? Sabo. It seems that after Sengoku announced your life experience, he suddenly decided. Monkey D. Luffy. Seeing as his circles are red, he must be very sad and painful. Monkey D. Garp. Have the face to say? Look at my grandson. He went to Naval Headquarters at least because he was afraid that I would be sad. Why did you come quietly? Monkey D. Luffy. I know now. Grandpa, I was also afraid of your sadness, so I came here. Monkey D. Garp. Go away. GOLD Roger. Haha. 1,000 miles of sunshine, galloping all the way in the cabin, the combat conference room. Luffy is holding a meeting for everyone. Now let's determine the battle plan. First of all, there is only one purpose of our trip, and that is to rescue Ace. As long as we rescue Ace, we will leave Naval Headquarters as quickly as possible. As long as this goal is accomplished, Ace won't have to die, and Dad Garp won't suffer anymore. As for the battle between Marine and the Whitebeard Pirates, Luffy is too lazy to care about it. Although according to the recent situation, Luffy has a good impression of the Whitebeard Pirates, but still that sentence. He will never do anything that is related to the luck of his partners. Save Ace. This is a surprise attack. It's definitely not a big problem if you plan to help the Whitebeard Pirates deal with Marine. That's bullshit. Not to mention anything else, Grandpa is probably going to die of anger first. After determining the target, the next step is to determine the fighters. I go. I can't. The little friends have a high fighting spirit. Luffy pointed to the sketch on the small blackboard and said, under the execution platform, there are Marine 3 admirals. If they are not restrained by the Whitebeard Pirates, then we must have someone to restrain them. The picture was drawn temporarily by Usopp, but it is enough to draw the current formation of Naval Headquarters clearly. I'll fix one. Zoro said without hesitation. This is my defeated opponent. It's boring. Buggy pointed to Kizaru and continued. except for the admiral he and Zoro chose. The remaining admiral will be handed over to Buggy. Hiss! I over there speak so loudly, Shanks. Ha! Buggy, you can do it. Gio Roger. Little Buggy, you here have the confidence now. Ha ha ha, Polysolino. Although it happened over there, it's really annoying to watch Sakazuki. I'm useless. I can't blame others. Polysolino, I'll see how you behave over there, Sakazuki. Oomph. No matter who comes, as long as they're pirates, I will let them catch them all. Since you all respect the old and love the young so much, then hand over the picked admiral to this old man. It may not be possible to defeat him, but it's okay to keep him in check. One Rayleigh pointed at Kizaru and said, Uncle, can you? Hearing that Rayleigh chose Kizaru, Luffy stared at him and asked seriously. Buggy laughed and said, Luffy, don't be fooled by his age. He is the right arm of One Piece, Pluton Rayleigh. If he can't deal with an admiral, then Marine has already captured him. Okay, then the assault team has been settled. 3 admirals to Zoro, Buggy, and Uncle Rayleigh. Remember, just contain it. Don't hurt yourself. Leave the task of Marshal Marine on the execution platform and saving Ace to me. Usopp, Sanji, and Nami, as a mobile team, cover our assault team without interference from other guys. As soon as we rescue someone, Nami, you will start the zip line, and everyone will return as quickly as possible. Robin and Frankie are the cover team. Stay on board. When the time comes, fire support, cover our retreat. Luffy quickly arranged the battle assignments. Seeing that he was not arranged, Brook asked proactively, What about me? Yo-ho-ho-ho. And me? Chopper asked, unhappy. Brook's current strength is not suitable for appearing on the battlefield. It is more appropriate to stay in the cabin and help the Fong Fong sisters control the Zeely Sunshine. Chopper, you, a ship doctor, must have the consciousness of ship doctor. Don't think about rushing to the front at all times. Stay on the ship for me. If someone is injured, you must ensure that you can quickly recover in the best condition rescue partners. Luffy calmly answered both of them. Wait, what about our master? Luke He, Kaku, and Califa look at Luffy. This is the first time they have participated in the battle plan of the Straw Hat Pirate ship, and I feel a little excited. Can you finally break into their interior successfully? Oh, I called you here to tell you, because this battle is more important, and I must not let any uncertain factors arise. So, I will wrong you 3 and put on Seastone handcuffs for the time being. Speaking, Luffy looks at Usopp. The trio of cleaners suddenly showed a bewildered expression. Usopp took out the Seastone handcuffs, and one of them gave him a pair. They're also very self-conscious, so they bring it for themselves, Nami. Wow, Red Luffy is so handsome when he distributes the battle plan. Nico Robin. It is said that men are very attractive when they are serious. As expected, that is a charm that no one else can imitate. Boa Hancock. When will the concubine over there meet Red Luffy Quinn? Vinsmoke Sanji. Whenever our Luffy can make a detailed battle plan before each battle, then we will be invincible. Roronoa Zoro. Our Luffy, he is lucky to follow the command every time in battle. Zoro couldn't help complaining. Monkey D. Luffy. OM. Kazan. The Straw Hat Pirates over there. Did this arrange us all? Sengoku. Plans can't keep up with changes. We must not be vegetarians over there. We won't let them save Ace easily. Dracula Mihawk. I'd love to see me fight Zoro over there. I don't know what it's like when Zoro fights me over there. Roronoa Zoro. Should be a rare battle. Thinking that the self over there is already so strong. Zoro's sense of urgency is even greater. Sabati Archipelago is not far from naval headquarters. Thousands of miles. Sunshine drove to the maximum speed and went all the way and saw naval headquarters in less than an hour. Dive! Frankie orders from the control room. Receive. Jiwei quickly operated the button to make the hull transform into yen mode. Mods quickly shut down the jet shell module and replaced it with a water shell module. Water shell module, at the same time, started to spray water, forming a rapid underwater propulsion power. Taking advantage of the bombardment above, the 1,000 miles of sunshine came down from the water to the bottom of Crescent Harbor. Float up, Fratch ordered. But the next moment, he immediately shouted again. Wait! Damn it. Whichby D froze the sea. Through the periscope, Frankie noticed the thick ice on the sea captain. Do you need to rush out? Ma sent an inquiry from the power room. Need not. Luffy dismisses this idea, but looks at Zoro. It's time for you to perform again. Don't worry, I'm familiar with this. Zoro nodded and quickly ran to the coating launch pad buggy. He shrugged his shoulders. This is in the sea, so I won't be able to assist you this time. It's okay. It's me. Last time I wanted to give him a kick, but this time I finally got it. Sanji smiled and chased after him without any hesitation. As Mose started the launch, the figures of Zoro and Sanji rushed into the sea water from different launch tubes under the impetus of a stream of air at the moment of leaving the launch port. The circular coating device of a launch port covered Zoro's body with a layer of water film. The next moment, Sanji also came out from the launch port, green algae head. Miss me all. I saw coating. Sanji kicked Zoro's merged foot suddenly. Zoro's figure is like a rocket launcher, and it shoots towards the ice above. Sanlong. The three knives are unsheathed in an instant. Three swords mysteries. One big, 3,000 big thousand worlds. Three famous knives covered with rich high-grade armament. Haki endless blade wind rolls up from Zoro's body. At this moment, the sea water suddenly vacated, forming a channel. In that channel, the endless wind blade rolled up by Zoro, violently inserted into the ice layer above. Boom. Although the ice layer is thick, it is vulnerable to Zoro's blade. At this time above the ice, the battle has entered a fever. Whitebeard pirates and marine have invested a lot of fighting power. Suddenly, a surface of ice exploded. A large number of pirates and marines were blown away by the aftermath of Chanua's impact. The two sides who were fighting were taken aback by this sudden scene. What's the situation? Everyone is looking at the green algae head that suddenly appeared. Zoro looked at the ice below, suddenly frowned and murmured, "Not good. Not enough for our boat to come out." Without any hesitation, the black knife Kushui and the famous sword Suizu in his hand suddenly plunged into the ice, and then quickly ran on the ice. +1. What's the situation? Sengoku frowned as he watched the sudden change on the ice. Whitebeard is also puzzled. Who is this? What is he doing? Zoro didn't seem to see the fierce battle around. Just ran alone in a blink of an eye. It drew a big circle on the ice. Swipe. The three famous knives are all in their sheaths. Then he grabs the edge of the huge, circular ice cube with both hands. Hello? You don't want to lift that piece of ice. Are you kidding? That's bigger than the ice cube Jaws lifted before. Who is this guy? Just as everyone was still in doubt, the muscles on Zoro's arm swelled violently. The rich armament Haki is wrapped tightly around his arms in an instant. Rise! Among the shocked gazes of countless people, the huge round ice cube was broken out abruptly by what it can. When Zoro lifts up the huge ice cube, Sanji's figure rises mechanically in the exposed seawater Sien. When 1,000 miles of sunshine surface completely, Sanji, standing on the top of the 1,000 miles of sunshine, took out a cigarette and stuffed it into the corner of his mouth. Click. Yanbei lights up a cigarette, with the thumb and forefinger pinching 1/3 of the fried rice. Sanji took a breath with a proper expression on his face, then exhaled the smoke ring. His eyes swept across the audience. Straw Hat Pirates. See above. Chapter 148. Is this Conquerors so terrifying? Please subscribe. Roranoa Zoro. Hey. UBD with curly eyebrows. I tried my best to break the ice layer, but you're acting handsome there. Seeing myself open the way for a long time, Sanji pretended to be a big guy as soon as he came out. Zoro was so angry that his mouth was crooked. Vinsmoke Sanji. It's really my job to be handsome over there. But you idiot chrysanthemum head. What right do you do over there to be angry? Ha ha. Capone Beach. Hey, that guy is so good at acting. Kid Eustace. Marine and Whitebeard pirates are fighting fiercely. You're smoking a cigarette calmly in front of everyone. It really is you. Ha ha ha. Tony Chopper. Sanji is too handsome. Usopp. Make no mistake, he's just an announcer. Then it's my great Captain Usopp's turn. You are such a perverted cook. UBD, when Zoro saw that he had been working on it for a long time and became Sanji's background board, he was so angry that he threw the huge round ice cube in his hand. Yo, brother Kalu, Tion's is not bad. Sanji turned his head and looked at Zoro's distraught look below, smiling happily at this time. Sengoku above the execution platform looked at this sudden scene and roared angrily. Damn it! Where did you come from? Daddy? Do we have reinforcements? Marco asked, looking at Whitebeard. Whitebeard looked confused. It should not be. The originally intense battlefield has come to a standstill at this moment. Boom! The top cover of Kiamli Sunshine in submarine mode suddenly opened. A figure jumped out from inside with a whoosh nanny. When seeing this figure, the result of the battle on the execution platform, and Garp's eyes widened in astonishment at the same time. Luffy. Garp hugged his head, a bit unable to bear this exciting scene. BD. It's your family again. Sengoku was also so angry that his lungs ached. One ace is not enough, right? Now, there is another Luffy. Your Garp's descendants don't have any peace of mind. Then, one figure after another jumped out of the huge hatch. Buggy. Sengoku's eyes fell on Buggy, let alone how angry he was. Before Straw Hat Pirates killed celestial dragons in Sabaody Archipelago, War 800 sent Marine Admiral Kizaru to arrest him. He thought it was more than enough, but he never thought that Kizaru was injured by Buggy. At that time, Sengoku realized that this red-nosed trainee on the Roger Pirates had grown to this point. But then he thought about it carefully. Buggy was one of the double Nova trainees on Roger's pirate ship. Since Shanks can become 4 emperors, it's impossible for China Base to be as small as he showed in East Blue until Buggy injured Kizaru Admiral with his strength this time. Sengoku didn't fully realize that this guy has been hiding his strength all along. Red Nose. Whitebeard was taken aback when he saw Buggy coming out. Why did this kid appear here? However, Buggy turned his head to look at Whitebeard. His eyes froze slightly. Hey, Whitebeard, I hate people calling me this nickname the most. Be careful what you say to me. Otherwise, I will be rude to you, Nanny. The expression on Whitebeard's face froze immediately. He pinches himself suspiciously. Am I dreaming? The intern on the Roger ship dared to speak to me in this tone? Where did he get the confidence? GOLD Roger. Haha, Whitebeard, you look stunned over there. It's so fun, ha ha ha. Edward Newgate. Can you not be stunned? I must have thought Buggy was just a timid little character over there. Shanks, if you have the strength to speak, you will naturally have confidence. The Buggy over there can even defeat Kizaru. Of course, there is no need to give Whitebeard face, as the 4 emperors. Gux has a deep understanding of this. I think back when he was still on the Roger pirate ship. He and Buggy faced Whitebeard in his heyday. Although they had the courage to fight, they were still panicked at the time. The courage to fight at that time also came from the support of the Roger Pirates. Anyway, it's different now. He is already the 4 emperors, and he has cultivated the super powerful Conqueror's Haki. Even without the unicorn arm, he is still one of the top powerhouses in this sea. Even if Whitebeard is standing in front of him, he doesn't have to give him face at all. Marco, I feel sorry for the old man over there. I want to laugh when I see this vista. Marco, you are too unkind. Ha ha. Edward Newgate. Guh. You bastards. Ha. Whitebeard, don't underestimate Buggy anymore. With his current strength, even an old man, he has to avoid the edge. Rayleigh looked at the dazed Whitebeard and couldn't help laughing. Rayleigh. Hearing Rayleigh's voice, everyone realized that there was a legendary old guy mixed in with this group of young people. Sengoku, Rayleigh, what are you doing here? Do you want to save Roger's son? Sengoku's face suddenly became serious. Although in his opinion, a Rayleigh cannot reverse the inevitable defeat of the Whitebeard pirates. But such a legendary old guy joining the battlefield will definitely increase their marine losses greatly. Sengoku, long time no see. But today's protagonist is not me, but the captain of the Straw Hat Pirates. Speaking, Rayleigh made an introduction gesture, drawing everyone's attention to Luffy Straw Hat. Sengoku looked at Luffy, his pupils constricted slightly. I know how strong Luffy is now, but he knows that Luffy is assisted by a strong person like Buggy. Obviously, he will not be an ordinary person, and now, even people like Pluton Rayleigh are willing to act as a supporting role next to Luffy. One can imagine how terrifying it will be if such a guy grows up. Thinking of this, Sengoku shouted in a low voice, "Monkey D. Luffy, what are you doing here?" Garp on the side also broke down and shouted, "Luffy, why are you here to join the fun? Take your people and get out of here. This is not the place you should come." Luffy looks at Garp like this, feeling a little distressed. Garp is facing such a torment now. He, Ace, Long, Roger are all responsible. Luffy looked at Garp. "Grandpa, give me Ace, and I'll leave immediately." "What? You want to save Ace too?" Garp's eyes widened, and he yelled angrily, "Don't think too much. Listen to me and go back immediately. Come here, don't even think about leaving." At this time, Marine Admiral Sakazuki suddenly shouted coldly. He looked at Luffy and said coldly, "You are the murderers who killed the Taiyan Longren. Today, it happened to catch you all in one go." Luffy glanced at Sakazuki, but ignored him. He looked at Sengoku. "Marshal Sengoku, give me Ace. We will leave immediately. There will be no interference with this war." Hearing what Luffy said, Sengoku's head suddenly became dizzy. "Presumptuous. Luffy, find out your identity. When is it your turn to give orders to our Marine?" 7-inch 1 Luffy didn't respond to Sengoku's questioning, but continued to calmly say, "I've said it twice just now, and now it's the third time. Give me Ace, and we'll do it right away." What an arrogant group of people. Looking at these familiar faces, Poliusolino couldn't help feeling emotional. Kazan couldn't help but widen his eyes. Mr. Garp's descendants. None of them are ordinary people. BD, who do you think you are talking to? Listen up. I will answer your question for the Marshal. Seeing that Luffy is still so tough, Sam, Apf, Kasky was furious. He waited ferociously for Luffy Marine to never compromise with the pirates. "You just die of this heart. Luffy, you and I are only brothers in name. Even if you want to save me, it's not your turn to save me. Listen to Grandpa and get out of here." On the execution platform, Ace shouted vigorously. For Luffy's sudden appearance in Naval Headquarters, Ace is actually very confused, however. Even if he and Luffy don't have a deep relationship, he doesn't want to see Luffy get injured or die in this war. After all, Ace is sure that Garp was absolutely heartbroken when he died. If something happens to Luffy again, then the old man Garp will be heartbroken and stare at him directly. Ace, shut up. I want to save you. It has nothing to do with you. You idiot. If you have the ability not to listen to Grandpa, then you have the ability not to let Marine catch you. You are like this now, causing Grandpa to suffer unceasingly. I saved you because I don't want to make Grandpa feel sad. Did you understand? Idiot. I didn't want to talk to him at first, but now that I heard Ace still chattering, Luffy couldn't help the anger in his heart and spit on him. Ace suddenly went numb. He remembered that when he was young, Garp told him to follow the path of Marine in the future, but he just refuses and wants to be a pirate. At that time, I was young and frivolous and ignorant, never thinking about the consequences until now being put on the execution platform. When he saw Garp's painful and trembling appearance when he was talking next to him, Ace's heart was also bleeding, and now hearing what Luffy said, he is speechless. Yes, it's okay to be disobedient, but don't let the consequences of your disobedience hurt you. So much people who love you. Looking at the crazy Garp next to him, Ace's eyes turned red. He plopped and kowtowed to Garp. "Grandpa, I'm sorry." Garp suppressed the tears in his eyes, clenched his fists, and shouted, "What are you doing? Get up for me. If today is your death day, give me a dignified go to hell. If today is not your death date, then give me a good way to get rid of your stinking habit of not listening to persuasion." Hearing this, Ace looked up blankly. "Grandpa, do I still have a chance to change?" "I don't know. You have to ask the person who wants to save you about this." Garp gritted his teeth, resisting the pain in his heart. At this time, Sengoku said in a deep voice, "No chance. Ace, you must die today. The most evil blood in the world flowing through you must be executed." Ha 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 ha. Hearty laughter suddenly resounded over the entire Crescent Harbor. Because of the blood flowing on your body, you betrayed the death penalty? Ha 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 ha. Marshal Sengoku. In this war, use Ace as bait to catch the big fish of the Whitebeard pirates. What a plan. I don't care how you want to deal with the Whitebeard pirates, but you took Ace's life to fulfill the purpose of your marine and the world's government, and then left my grandfather sad and miserable. Sorry, I'm Luffy. No. The moment the voice fell, Luffy's Conqueror's Haki was released instantly. Conqueror's Haki honed to ultimate, accompanied by full of anger, is completely released at this moment. Under the sky, full of marlins, it seems that the world is cracked in an instant, and countless purple Haki energy ripples appear out of thin air. An invincible momentum suddenly fell, covering the entire battlefield with many marlins in an instant, as if the air pressure in the entire sky was suddenly suppressed by someone with a compressor. The terrifying coercion made everyone almost breathless at this moment. Boom, 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 boom. The crowd fell to the ground one after another like a domino in an instant. Pirate is fine. Marine is fine too. At this moment, all the guys who were not strong enough, or whose will was not firm enough, all fell to the ground cleanly, foaming at the mouth, rolled their eyes, and passed out. What? When this scene happened, all the people who were still standing in naval headquarters were all shocked, and their eyes were cracked. This is impossible. Sengoku opened his mouth in disbelief, looking at the scene below the densely packed marine. How could it be real? You know, these Marines are able to participate in the Summit War. They are all selected elites. However, at the moment, since the Commodore and below, almost none are still standing. And among those Marines who are still standing, even those Commodores and some Rear Admirals who are still standing are also pale and look very bad. In other words, all the artillery units are paralyzed. The only ones who can maintain their fighting power are the ones above Rear Admiral. Is this a joke? Whitebeard was as shocked as Sengoku. The entire Whitebeard Pirates group, almost 90% of the pirates who entered the Crescent Harbor fainted at once. Whitebeard glanced at the pirates that were still standing at this time, and he could call every one of them by name. What does this mean? This means that the pirates who are still standing are at least above the strength of the main combatants of each team. What is the effect of Conqueror's Haki? Whitebeard knows. Sengoku knows. Hancock knows. But at this moment, when Luffy's Conqueror's Haki is released, they don't seem to understand it again. Conqueror's Haki. Can it really be this scary? Chapter 149 Nika Form. Sengoku panicked. Please subscribe. Nani. When the scene of Luffy releasing Conqueror's Haki appeared on the screen, the chat room fell silent. Conqueror's Haki isn't scary, but such a strong Conqueror's Haki. It's just terrible. Kid Eustace. Bababa Conqueror's Haki. Can it really be this strong? One is the owner of Conqueror's Haki. Kid has always had his eyes high. After all, having Conqueror's Haki means having the qualifications of a king. However, when he saw the Conqueror's Haki released by Red Luffy at this time, he was completely dumbfounded. Is this still Conqueror's Haki? Are you sure this isn't a direct shot at Marineford with the Pluton? Kid is sure that his Conqueror's Haki can deter ordinary pirates and Marines. But for those Marine officers whose strength has reached the school level, his Conqueror's Haki has almost negligible deterrent effect. However, under the full release of Red Luffy's Conqueror's Haki, the entire Marine Commodore with numerous Marines was almost wiped out, and there were only a few outstanding ones who were ready to stand. Even a Marine Rear Admiral was overturned several times. As for those below the general level, there are no eggs. Compared with Luffy's Conqueror's Haki, Kid was ashamed to find that he had no face to call himself an awakened Conqueror's Haki. Sengoku, no. Impossible. How is it possible for Conqueror's Haki to do this? Crane, even Marine Rear Admiral got stunned. It's unbelievable. Rance? No way. Even me over there, under this Conqueror's Haki, turn a little pale. Flying squirrel. It's not just you. We seem to be affected too. Although it's not obvious, it is obviously affected. Dalmesia? Damn it. A large-scale war suddenly quieted down. This is outrageous. Looking at the situation of Marine in the picture, everyone in Marine was stunned. Joel D. Roger. Ah, is the red straw hat Luffy over there so exaggerated? Has this Conqueror's Haki been cultivated to the strongest state? To be able to become the One Piece, Roger's talent is definitely not low. His Conqueror's Haki is also very powerful, but as for Conqueror's Haki, he looked at the situation on the screen and was willing to bow down. Edward Newgate, I don't know if it's the strongest state, but I know it. It must be much better than the old man's Conqueror's Haki. Whitebeard also has to be convinced Kazuki Oden. This Conqueror's is too scary. Whose Conqueror's has reached this level, let me tell you. Can this happen? Edward Newgate, ask Shanks. He's the strongest Conqueror's right now. When it comes to Shanks, Whitebeard is a little upset when Shanks came to visit him before. He specially showed Conqueror's Haki on his boat, shocked all the little guys in the boat. GOLD, Roger. Oh? Little Shanks is so strong. Shanks, ahem, Whitebeard, don't flatter me. However, I do have a say in Conqueror's Haki. To be honest, I can do things like stun a Commodore arrived. But like Red Luffy directly stunned hundreds of Commodores, I can't do it. As for Rear Admiral, my Conqueror's Haki isn't up to that level unless he's in vain. WWW. As soon as Shanks' evaluation came out, everyone in the chat room was shocked according to that. If the Red Luffy over there is placed here, wouldn't it be the 10th person of Conqueror's Haki? Charlotte Lin. Hey, red-haired boy, you're most familiar with Conqueror's training. Isn't the strongest state of this thing like Red Luffy? Seeing Luffy's talent, Charlotte Lin is getting more and more greedy now. This gifted gene must get it. Shanks, no, you're wrong. Conqueror's Haki is fundamentally different from the other two kinds of Haki. The other two kinds of Haki have limits, but Conqueror's Haki has no limits. Don Quixote da Flamingo. Fufurfur, is it so outrageous? Shanks, you are also Conqueror's Haki Awakeners. You should know that this kind of Haki cannot be obtained through acquired practice. According to my experience, Conqueror's Haki is like a benchmark. When it awakens on you, it is to set a height for you. When your courage, will, ability, and other factors reach this height, this benchmark will be raised to another level, and a new height will be set for you. Theoretically, it is unlimited. Kaido, so it's like this. Redhead, I've always felt this way about what you said, but I can't put it into words. I didn't realize it until I heard you say that. GOLD, Roger. Haha, little Shanks, well said. This is the meaning of the king's qualifications. Those idiots who regard Conqueror's Haki as a symbol of the king will never understand that Conqueror's Haki is actually just the king's tickets. The many battlefields of Marin, which were originally extremely anxious, fell into a silent silence after a short moment. All the people who can still stand at this moment all stare with dumbfounded eyes. Damn it. This is Conqueror's Haki. Sakazuki scanned the audience in disbelief, then fixed his gaze on Luffy. Kazan took a deep breath, his pupils suddenly constricted. Even if he is a descendant of Garp, this qualification is too much. The corner of Pagliusolino's mouth twitched slightly. He still remembers that when he was in Sabidi Archipelago, Luffy the Straw Hat shouted, "Let's go together." I didn't think anything at the time, but looking at the scene in front of me now, Pagliusolino couldn't help cursing madly in his heart. Riding on horses. Such a strong guy actually wants to fight in groups? It's too much. Marco fell from the sky and landed beside Whitebeard. It's not good, old man. We are seriously short of people who can continue to fight. Whitebeard narrowed his eyes slightly, stared at the front, and said lightly, "Don't panic. Marine is the same, and although they can't be counted as part of our group, at least their goal is the same as ours now. You immediately inform everyone that the captain and the captains of the ships are ready to fight with me." Others combatants seized the time to drag the fainted person back to the ship, calmly observing the situation on the battlefield, calmly analyzing new. Marco didn't hesitate, and immediately started notifying his father of his order. Attack. At this moment, Luffy's order was like a thunderclap, and there was an explosion in Crescent Harbor. The moment the voice fell, Luffy's figure shot out like an arrow from the string. Next, Zoro, Buggy, and Rayleigh followed, closely like peacocks' three tails. Let's go. Don't let those shrimp soldiers and crab generals interfere with them. Nami let out a coquettish shout and immediately activated her ability. Usopp, Sanji, and Nami immediately had the power of slippery fruit attached to their bodies, and the three of them slid out along the ground, bastards. Absolutely lawless. Standing at Sengoku's position and looking down, four figures are running wildly on the ice in Crescent Harbor. 1-3 formation, like an arrow, quickly approaching the battle platform of naval headquarters. In the face of such an unexpected situation, Sengoku could not have been too flustered, but after experiencing Luffy's Conqueror's Haki just now, he has made it clear that is, Luffy's strength is definitely no less than that of Pluton Rayleigh. And Buggy is the existence that hurt Kizaru again. As for the other three-sword swordsman, although Sengoku doesn't know this guy, since he is qualified to be in the first striker formation, his strength must be recognized by Luffy. In other words, the four people rushing to the front in front of me all have the power of Admiral. In the face of such a sudden and apparently well-planned raid team, even Sengoku, who has always been stable, has to panic. You know, he ate the devil fruit in the form of a Buddha, not the devil fruit in the form of a weight. Start the encirclement wall. Start the encirclement and suppression plan. Seeing that the situation is so critical, Sengoku gave the order without hesitation. Marshal, the Whitebeard pirates' large fleet hasn't entered the harbor yet. Are you sure you want to activate the encirclement wall now? The Marine combat personnel in the control room thought they had misheard when they heard such an order. Start. Start now. Quickly. Damn. The fire is going to burn your A. You are still asking me if I'm not sure? Sengoku scolded angrily. At this time, when Whitebeard saw such a fighter plane, he also raised his arms without hesitation. Captain and the captains of the ships, go with the old man. Marco is waiting for the opportunity to save people. Although Luffy's domineering aura shocked more than 90% of the Whitebeard pirates just now, but this is not the time to worry about it. Rescue Ace. The regiment is the only purpose of Whitebeard's trip. Okay, go with that. Above the ice, the main force of the Whitebeard pirates also swarmed up. Zoro asked for flowers, but at this moment, accompanied by a strong mechanical roar, the ring-shaped ice surface in Crescent Harbor suddenly vibrated violently. Bang, 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 bang. That circle of ice suddenly exploded. One after another tall walls suddenly rise up. They were lifted up a full tens of meters along one side of the inner wall of Crescent Harbor, forming a circle of steel cages covering the sky and sun, trapping the Whitebeard pirates and the Straw Hat pirates inside. Straw Hat boys, keep going. These iron walls are handed over to the old man. Seeing the surrounding wall suddenly raised, Whitebeard roared, and then punched the surrounding wall in front of him through the air. The force of the violent vibration, like the tide that erupted in an instant, blasted on the surrounding wall in front of it with unrivaled power. In an instant, the tall and thick surrounding wall was directly dented inward by the blow of Whitebeard. However, the sag is sag, but there is no sign of any cracking. The iron wall is not broken. Couldn't Daddy's ability help? Jingaduo, the captain of the 11th Squad, shouted in horror. Atmos, the captain of the 13th Division, exclaimed, "That's not ordinary iron." The corner of Whitebeard's mouth twitched slightly. A moment ago, he just boasted to the Straw Hat pirates, but at this moment he was slapped in the face by reality. Damn Sengoku, what the hell is around? One this made the old man feel ashamed. Charlotte Limlin, haha, Whitebeard, you really made me laugh, Shiki. That's right, keep going. I'll leave these iron walls to the old man. Ha 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 ha. GOLD Roger. Ha. Whitebeard, isn't it embarrassing? Edward Newgate. Who would have known that Sengoku made this thing? Probably another alloy made by Vegapunk. It can't even be cracked. The blown awesomeness failed to come true. Whitebeard is really a little embarrassed, but when he looked at Luffy, he was even more embarrassed. Because Luffy didn't have any responsive eyes or body language from the beginning to the end. It seems that the most powerful man in the world is a little bit hot at the moment, meaning that he is sticking to someone's cold and in fact, Of course, Luffy doesn't care what Whitebeard is doing. He has his own plan. Even if something unexpected happens now, he already has a way to deal with it. He pointed to the iron wall in front of him and shouted, "Buggy, the iron wall in front is handed over to you." "It's on me, Long," Buggy responded, and the upper body was launched directly over Luffy's body and went straight to the iron wall in front. -1. Let's do it, Sakazuki. Destroy their ships and the ice. Let them lose their foothold. At this time, Sengoku ordered loudly. "No." Sakazuki stared coldly at the crescent harbor below, and the billowing magma flooded his body. Meteor volcano. Intense magma poured out of Sakazuki's body continuously, forming huge lava fists one after another, flying into the sky at a parabolic angle, and then crashing into the surrounding walls of Crescent Harbor. Not good. Our ship, Nami, who was running after the four of Luffy, suddenly changed his face and screamed. Frankie holding the intercom bug. Shuaibei is near the anti-gun and ready. Receive. Kaiwi and Maz quickly pressed the button in the control room. A group of water shell modules flipped out from the surface of the 1,000 miles of sunshine, ready to go. Aren't they in danger? Rayleigh glanced back at Sanji, Nami, and Usopp and asked suspiciously. "Won't." Luffy responded calmly, then jumped into the sky. "Ah, aha, boom, bang, bang." 666. Amidst Luffy's hearty and free laughter, bursts of rhythmic drums sounded. His eyebrows and hair turned into a white flame cloud. His whole body is wrapped with white steam horses like ribbons. Under the shining sun, Luffy looks like a free fighter. He hangs in the air in an exaggerated posture, with his right hand covering his forehead, laughing freely. Chapter 150 Hawkeye. This swordsman asked me to come. Please subscribe. What is that? Awakening? Suddenly seeing Luffy change into a strange look, Sengoku has an unbelievable expression on his face. The first thing he could think of was the awakening of devil fruit. But after thinking about it, he was shocked again. No, the effect of Paramecia devil fruit's awakening should be to affect the surrounding substances. Why does his second appearance change so much? Shouldn't this be what happened to Zoan devil fruit? No way. What's the situation? Kazan narrowed his eyes with confusion. Porosalino opened his mouth slightly. Oh, it seems that something big happened. FK him so much. Give it to me. Sakazuki looked grim, and the rolling magma continued to fly out of him. A large amount of magma fell from the sky, as if it was a cataclysm that brought death, and it covered Luffy. And at this time, Luffy suddenly opened his eyes, and his laughter became more cheerful and free. Rubber, rubber tempest. Luffy's two arms blasted countless fists forward in an instant, like a storm, violently blasting on the huge lava fist that filled the sky. What? Is he crazy? When seeing Luffy attacking Meteor Volcano with his fists, everyone present was startled from ear to ear. Everyone knows how terrifying the temperature of the magma is. The magma produced by Sakazuki using lava fruit can even exceed the real temperature of magma in nature. In this case, even with high-level armament Haki body protection, there are not many people who can face the magma head-on Lengtuking. At this moment, everyone in 807 put such a label on Luffy in their hearts. This idea was born in less than 2 seconds, and everyone was severely slapped in the face. I saw the moment when Luffy's fist hit the giant lava fist. These giant lava fists suddenly lost their original terrifying high temperature, and thus turned into a strange appearance. Luffy's fist is directly against this giant lava fist, and it will bulge up. It's like punching a rubber headgear. Under the elasticity of the rubber properties, this rubberized lava fist was ejected from Luffy's fist. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. In the sky, under the attack of Luffy's rubber storm, none of the giant lava fists landed successfully. All of them were assimilated into rubber the moment they touched Luffy's fist, and then ejected, flying to the distant sea surface. After these rubberized lava giants flew out for a certain distance, they escaped the influence of the rubber fruit awakening and turned back into real lava giants. Boom! The moment it fell into the seawater, the terrifying high temperature suddenly evaporated the turbulent seawater. Scorching air waves and white mist rise violently. Boom, 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 boom. These giant lava fists landed in all directions of Marlin's many islands in irregular directions, and countless scorching air waves rolled into the sky with white mist, completely enveloping the entire Marin's numerous islands in a white mist. Although Kianli's sunshine is protected by water shells, Luffy doesn't want to gamble. In case a giant lava fist falls on the 1,000 miles of sunshine, even if it is made of treasure tree alloy material, it will probably be damaged too. What's more, they're my own partners below. Although everyone has their own life-saving ability, Luffy still likes to use the safest way. Damn, what the hell is this? On the resolute face, angry emotions are rolling. Sakazuki is staring at Luffy, burning with anger. Originally, this move could cause heavy losses to the pirates in the surrounding wall, and even wipe them out. But now, because of the Straw Hat Kid who killed him halfway, his meteor volcano has returned without success. How can Sakazuki endure? I'll see how long you can block. Sakazuki not only didn't stop, but even more vigorously down. Buggy's upper body has already flown above the iron wall, suspended in the air. Dad, what is that Buggy doing? He flew to the top of the surrounding wall. Could it be that he wants to pull the surrounding wall down? The Muir said, doubtfully, "Goo la 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 la." The red nose probably doesn't know how much I weigh. That iron wall, even I can't break it, let alone push it. It's hard for him to even shake it arrive. Whitebeard smiled and shook his head. He still doesn't know anything about Buggy's strength. However, seeing Luffy's rubberized ability, he is not worried about the surrounding wall. In his opinion, as long as Luffy rubberizes the surrounding walls, these surrounding walls can be lifted and thrown. Vista echoed, yes, he can fly by splitting the fruit, but with his strength, flying over alone is purely courting death, so he will stop there and wait for other teammates. That's right, it must be like this. Lakio agreed. In front of the iron wall, Buggy came to this height, just in time to see Sengoku on the execution platform. Sengoku also saw Buggy and frowned. He knows that Buggy has the ability to reward Kazuru, but he only knows that Kazuru was stabbed by Buggy's knife, and he didn't ask about the process. So naturally, I don't know that Buggy's fruit has awakened. I don't even know the effect of splitting the fruit after awakening. Suddenly, Sengoku said in a cold voice, "Buggy, what do you want? Don't think that you have the strength to deal with Kazuru. You can defeat this surrounding wall. No matter how strong your personal strength is, you can't match the powerful Marine organization." Oh, Buggy's eyes are sharp, and the corners of his mouth curled up in a playful arc. Then let me open your eyes today. Speaking, Buggy's hands flew out to the sides below. His left hand touched one surrounding wall, and his right hand touched the other surrounding wall. The high-tech special steel with a height of tens of meters and a thickness of several meters on both sides instantly scattered into countless fine sand grains. What? Whether it's a Marine side or the Whitebeard pirate side, everyone is stunned in place. They all open their mouths wide, and their eyeballs protruded in shock. I can't believe what I'm seeing. This is impossible. Sengoku has an old face and a long face. He stretched his neck and looked in horror at the two tall, surrounding walls that disappeared right in front of him. I ride a horse. Where are the two walls that surround me so big? In the distance, Poliusolino rubbed his forehead with his hand, seeing Buggy appearing above the surrounding wall just now. He realized what Buggy was going to do. Sure enough, Buggy did not disappoint him. Damn. What did you do? Sengoku looked at Buggy dumbfounded and roared in horror. No big deal, just to open your eyes. Buggy smiled slightly, then turned to look at Whitebeard behind him, and then said, by the way, let Whitebeard open his eyes too. It's just an iron wall, but that's it. Buggy remembers it. When he came out just now, Whitebeard called him Red Nose in a very casual manner. Now, what you Whitebeard can't do, Buggy can easily do. Find out for me. Is the Red Nose also worthy of your Whitebeard? Whitebeard's mouth twitches. Slightly good guy. The kid next to Roger has really become a great guy. Buggy, that iron wall. Give me some to eat. Frankie stands on the 1,000 miles of sunshine, shouting toward Buggy, "Okay, just open your mouth, as much as you want." Buggy activated the fruit ability. The two surrounding walls that he had split into sand grains soared into the sky, forming a dense swarm of bees in the air, and quickly came to Frankie. Frankie opened his mouth wide and laughed loudly. Come on. A large number of crumbs surrounding the wall are like a duck feeding style, and they gurgled into Fratch's mouth. You should eat these too. Stay here and look at the eyes. Buggy's two palms are flying quickly along the top of the surrounding wall, touching one piece of the surrounding wall. Under his control, these surrounding walls were all shattered into fine gravel, forming a gravel Yamato in the sky, surging towards Frankie incessantly. Frankie never refuses anyone who comes. So he simply sat down against the pole of the watchtower, crossed his legs, put his hands behind his head, and opened his mouth to work. Nanny? What's going on? Sengoku is full of shock. He was really surprised today. Surprised and a little numb. But Frankie's mouth looks like a bottomless pit at this moment. He still can't help but eat another caddy. That BD. The iron wall was eaten up by him. Sakazuki was so angry that he really wanted to burn Frankie to ashes with a giant lava punch. However, with Luffy in front of him, his meteor volcano can't break through at all. A lot of iron wall crumbs poured into Frankie's mouth, but Buggy still kept an iron wall amount of crumbs for his own use. Under the control of his ability, these iron wall fragments build a slope directly in front of the harbor, leading directly to the naval headquarters battle platform above. Zoro and Rayleigh, one left and one right, step lightly on the slope and jump high. This is naval headquarters. We must not let the pirates breach it. The remaining Marine Rear Admirals have activated Armament Haki one after another, ready to meet the enemy. A flash of light strikes Polysolino, makes his debut. You guys can't stop these vicious guys. Put your hands together, pull gently. Polysolino sips lightly. Amazono sword, with a golden lightsaber in his hand. Polysolino wore his iconic obscene smile on his face. He swung his sword and slashed towards Pluton Rayleigh. Oh, pick me a 76-year-old guy as an opponent? You will pick me. Jokingly, the sword in Rayleigh's hand is not idle, and he greeted him with a bang. Bang, 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 bang. The two figures are fighting together, and the flash of swords flickers for a moment. Get out of the way. Go and deal with the group of guys in the back. Kazan also quickly arrived at the front of the battlefield. Chin Rear Admirals went to deal with the weaker guys just when he was about to attack Zoro. A figure suddenly fell. This swordsman, let me come. Hawkeye's figure is as tall and straight as a pine. He raised his right hand high, stretched his back, and grabbed the hilt of Kiritoya's knife. Sanlong, the world's largest black knife, unsheathed. Shanks, whoa. Mihawk, this is what you were expecting? It happened. Mihawk, yes. I'm looking forward to the strength of Zoro over there. Roronoa Zoro. Did you just pull out the world's largest black knife just after we met? The me over there is really strong. Although Zoro here also fought Hawkeye once. But that time Hawkeye left Zoro defenseless with just a cross knife. Rather than saying it is a battle, it is better to say that it is an overwhelming challenge if Hawkeye hadn't recognized his will. I'm afraid he would have fallen in the sea before he came out of East Blue now. I can see myself and Hawkeye over there. Zoro's heart is also boiling with excitement. You know, the self over there can be seen as a harder self. Theoretically speaking, as long as the self on this side works harder in the future, what the self on the other side has achieved, Zoro can also achieve in the future. Gon, the swordsman's pinnacle battle. Vista. Interesting. When watching the white frame video just now, His Excellency Hawkeye was fighting with me. It was completely perfunctory. I didn't expect that in the red frame video. His Excellency Hawkeye actually asked to fight with Zoro 0.4 War. Shanks, that guy is very sensitive to sword intent. He took the initiative to fight with Zoro over there. He must have felt the sword intent on him. Dracula Mihawk, stop talking nonsense and watch the video carefully. Maybe this battle will benefit our swordsmanship. Cavendish, makes sense. This is a great opportunity to learn. The world's greatest swordsman. Looking at Hawkeye, who suddenly appeared in front of his eyes, Zoro stopped suddenly. He made a promise with Kuina that he would take her hard work and become the world's #1 swordsman. It has been several years since he went to sea. This is the first time he has seen Hawkeye himself. Of course, this is the target he wants to challenge. So he has read information about Hawkeye in the newspaper. Otherwise, how could he recognize him at a glance? Zoro stared at Hawkeye with surprise and joy on his face. I really didn't expect to meet you here. Eagle-eyed eyebrows moved slightly. Oh, you seem to be looking forward to meeting me. Of course. The reason why I went to sea is to fight you. Zoro took off the green scarf from his shoulders and tied it tightly around his head. That's just right. Hawkeye smiled slightly. What he saw in his eyes was not an enemy, but a swordsman who was enough to ignite his fighting spirit. I can't ask for it. Zoro left the scarf with both hands, and the corners of his mouth flickered with excitement. Songling, 3 famous knives unsheathed. Chapter 151, Buggy Chinka Akainu. Please subscribe. Akiji's chosen opponent here was robbed by Hawkeye, so he had to turn his attention to Buggy in the air. However, before he could take a shot at Buggy, the figure of Whitebeard rushed over. Frozen Boy, this old man will be your opponent. Whitebeard came to the front, without saying a word. He stabbed Akiji directly. Are you actually asking me to deal with the protagonist? Akiji frowned and immediately parried P quick. Now kill Admiral. Let them taste our power. Kill. Behind Whitebeard, the captains of the squadrons and the captains of the big fleet swarmed up.
No more novels? Take part in the voting. The most requested novels and those with the most likes will be chosen for publication on euroaudiobooks.com. There, I can upload as much as I want without the risk of receiving a strike. Our 18 novels and other content that exceed what is morally acceptable are only published on Patreon or the free novels page. Remember, the site is funded by donations on Ko-fi and Patreon memberships.